Ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives. So we are going to do some knife sharpening. I have a new budget sharpening system that is basically like a TSPROF clone. They're $100, but if you guys don't know, TSPROFs are very, very expensive. In fact, let me show you something that we're giving away here in just a couple days. Nearly, if not $1,000 worth of sharpening stuff. We have not this exact one. The one you guys are getting is coming in a big wooden box, but it's got the base. You got a custom sticker for it. You got basically everything you see here, including the little knob. This is all custom parts. So I got the whole shebang. The only thing you don't have, I don't think you have this extra clamp. You have two big clamps, but either way, works just fine. And you already have a digital angle finder hooked up right there. That is going to be given away here in just a couple days. So if you subscribe to the channel and pay attention, you just might win a badass sharpening system. We're only doing USA and Canada though, but it's gonna be dope. But this is like a budget version of the TSPROF Cadet. I could grab it right now. It's another system. It's not quite like the one we're giving away. That's the most elite system. But this thing is actually surprisingly pretty good for $100. Like really, really good. As far as like the setup, but we're going to test it out and see if it actually works well. It seems like it will, but we're going to find out. This isn't going to be the full review on it. I will be doing a full review on it after I test it for a little while. But right now, this is just us taking a first look at it. We're going to test it out, see how it does. Also, we got some new sharpening stones. We have some new sharpening stones. Now, technically, they're the same as the old metal ones, but these ones have backs on them now. So they're higher. And I will be honest, I think these are better. Right off the bat, they're more aggressive. They feel different. And I did talk to the guys at USA Market, and before they made these ones, we talked about possibly, you know, enhancing some things. And I think they did. Like this thing it just feels so much more aggressive than these ones originally did, which is what we want. So we have a whole new set of these, and having the plate on there, one, allows you to use all the abrasive because this is a metal bonded CBN. So basically CBN is very similar to diamonds, but they actually wear a little bit slower and they cut a little bit faster. So this is a metal bond with diamonds infused throughout. And then it's stuck to an aluminum plate. I think it's aluminum, which rises it up. So when you're sharpening in your clamp, which I got to pull mine out, it raises you up higher than the grooves right here. So your hands have clearance. All right, let's, why doesn't it show me live over here? What's going on? What the hell, baby? Huh. Hang on one second, guys. By the way, if you're a member, I just posted a, oh, it's showing me this other one. Hold on, let me delete this. It's, I just posted the giveaway. Somebody won a fucking Herman from the memberships, $1,000 knife, and we gave away 6 or 7 other knives. So it was like 8 knives altogether. What is going on? It's not working. Like I can't see, I see people in here, so I know it's working, but it's not working over here when I'm trying to watch it.
Oh, on the iPad thing?
Yeah. Let me just
Hand me that.
click, no, just hang on a second. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. There it is. But why am I not, there we go. Okay, all right, yeah, I got it. So, yeah, so if you are a member, go watch it should be up already. It was going up before we went live. So hopefully that's up. And like I said, there's a bunch of winners. So, and it's the new entry video too. So if you didn't win, that's okay. You're going to leave a comment and enter into the next one, which we show 3 of the prizes from the next one. We are also going to talk about sharpening double-edged knives, whether it's double-edged daggers or whatever. So we're going to talk mostly about double-edged daggers. That's typically how you're going to get a double-edged knife. So I got a couple double-edged dagger knives here, and we're going to talk about how you can properly sharpen them, because They can be a little frustrating for people because you don't have just one edge, you have two edges, and you have to marry them together at the tip. And that is the part that people are most scared of, because if you sharpen too much on this side, then it'll be offset, right? You need that center line to be perfect. Even if it doesn't have that center line, you still want it to be as close to perfect as possible. Let's see what you guys are saying, and then we'll get to sharpening. You like it how I like it? I like it how you like it. So I ordered the $120 version of the Worksharp sharpener. First time sharpener though. Which one is that? Because the professional is $250. So you must have got the precision with the upgraded package, I'm guessing. Let me know, Brian, which one did you get? Do you know the name of it? Just picked up another Pena Mula in red carbon fiber. Hell yeah. You guys seen the new one I just got? Woo! The Riat GTR. Oh my goodness. I'm calling it the sports car of knives. This sumbitch is sexy. Oh, it's a good looking knife. I love a good harpoon. And look at that action. And it's an integral, so this whole handle is made out of one solid piece of titanium. This is very expensive, but I love it. Looked it up after your video. Love the poon action. Yep, gotta love that poon action. Any advice on finding a good knife maker who can trust my Megalodon tutu? I want to turn it into scales, but as a craftsman myself, I find it hard to find people. Yeah, I personally would get a hold of either, depends on the type of knife you want, but I would recommend you get a hold of Steve Kalari. He uses some exotic woods and exotic materials, and his fit and finish work is amazing. He'll take good care of you. I got a chef knife from him with 2,000-year-old bog oak, and then a couple other things. It's a beautiful knife, but he does other like types of fixed blades. He does like chef knives, small fixed blades, and so on. So if you're talking about a fixed blade, that's what I think you're talking about. I would go towards him, and then there's a couple other guys I could recommend you to as well. Luck Knives. Luck Knives has been doing some amazing work. LUC Knives, and they won't screw you over. They'll take care of you. They care about the reputation. Love the Militaw, Jared. So smooth and insane. Hell yeah. Let's see. Prefer shaved or brush? Or shaved or bush? Shaved all day. I like the Veritas by Kaiser. Yeah, the Veritas is dope. That's another one that I really like. That one, and then the Militaw with the DLC. So good, nice. I would love to see some lockback knives. Thank you. You know, I do have actually, what was it? I think I recently got a new lockback. I got a new slip joint too, but I don't got it right here. But yeah, lockbacks are pretty dope. I personally like the lockbacks that are in the center or near the top, because then I can push it like this and then the thing will drop down on my finger. Kind of like a cold steel. I don't have any up here right now, otherwise I'd grab it. I got a bunch of knives around, but I just don't have that. Jared, what are your thoughts about the Wizard knife series? You talking about from CJRB? Is that what you're talking about? The one from CJRB or Artisan? I like it. All their series are pretty dope. They do a really good job. I've got the other one they did. I can't think of the name of it right now, but yeah, it seems like all of them are really cool. What's up, Jared? I've been using a Blade Binge a lot because of you. Thanks, man. Dukes, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for the 5 bones. And yeah, if you guys don't know, Blade Binge. Blade Binge is a place where you can not only buy new and used knives, you can sell your used knives. So you just go up on there. I think you pay 7% to the owner of the company, and then you post it on Blade Binge and then sell it on Blade Binge, and it's 100% protection for the buyer and seller, so you have no risks at all. and it's really easy to use. So if you guys have not checked out Blade Binge, check out Blade Binge. They have awesome knives, and it's a great place for you to find the gems that it's impossible to find, and for a great value. Like, I've seen some amazing deals on there. I've even put some amazing deals. What's up, baby?
You know the other good thing about it is how they like, print the shipping label for the seller. Like they give you that.
Oh yeah,
Great feature.
yeah, they print the shipping label for the seller.
Well, they give it to you.
Right, not print it, but yeah. Do you think they will make more Vosteed Valkyries? Probably. I don't know. So some of their line, they if they do really well, then they will. I'm guessing they're gonna, because that one went pretty quickly, but that's typically how it goes. If it does well, they'll keep doing it. If it doesn't, they don't. Thank you, Todd. Shout out to Todd. Jared, do you think they will? Oh yeah, you read that. Hey, Todd, did you get your knife? I just want to make sure you got it. All right, so since more people are in here, let's talk about what we were talking about at the beginning. So one thing, we have a TSPROF clone budget sharpener. This is $100. And looking at it, the same thing from TSPROF, which, let me be clear, is way, way better, is like $400 or $500. So for $100, that's amazing. And it does come with diamond plates. In a couple days, I'm doing a giveaway for the TSPROF K03. I got $1,000 worth of shit for you guys. Here, I'll just show you guys. So I got a box full of extra parts here. Make sure you're not seeing addresses. You guys probably already did. And then I got, oh, look at that. That's your K03, the same thing I just showed you, in a wooden box. So one of you guys are going to win this. One of you guys are going to win that. And I got the base. I got a base sticker for you. I got the custom ball. What else? A bunch of shit. The thing's filled with tons of stuff. Like I said, it's like $1,000 worth of sharpening supplies, and it has their #1 best sharpening system. And in my opinion, the best sharpening system on the planet so far. I do have a few right now that I'm testing, but the TSPROF K03, it's very difficult to beat. So even if there's another system that is phenomenal, that is still going to be a top contender. So, but they are very expensive. This is a knockoff of it. And I like TSPROF, so I'm not trying to hurt their business. Like I said, this is nowhere near the level of quality as the Cadet. Let's actually look at the Cadet. So this is this the Pioneer or is this Cadet? Yeah, this is the Cadet. Okay, so this is the Cadet. This is what it's trying to simulate. This is like $450 or something like that. So this is what it's trying to like simulate. It actually does a pretty good job, but it's not as, the parts aren't fit as good. It's not as smooth. It's not as precision built. But for $100, we're going to test it out. I don't know. I don't know how it is. I'm going to do a full review on it, so that will be coming soon. Today, we're just going to test it out for the first time. Could you use 1 6x1 stones on the knockoff? Yes, that's what it, so you can use any size, but really, it adjusts. So you have the thing right here where you can literally adjust it to what you want. But yes, it will hold 4-inch, 6-inch. I don't think 8-inch, but you know, you can maybe squeeze it in there. I have that sharpener, and it actually does a really good job. For $120, you're going to be really surprised. Yeah, I got it for $99.99, I think, off Amazon. I should have linked it down in the description. If you go to the NEEVESKNIVES store and sharpening supplies, let me make sure yeah, so if you go down in the description, I have the NEEVESKNIVES store and sharpening supplies. If you just go there and type in XARILK, it will pop up. That's all you got to type in. Type in that and then budget sharpener or TSPROF clone or something like that. You'll find it. It's got to be better than my work sharpener. Depends on which one you got, because the Professional is a really good system. What's up, Ron? Better come with a knees instructional video. Well, like I said, we're going to be doing a full review on that. And today we're going to test out some new sharpening stones. So we got some new stones from USA Market. Also, links are down in the description. These ones have the backs now, so they're not just the plates. And I do think they upgraded or improved the metal bonded CBNs. So, but CBN is basically a diamond. It's not a diamond, but it's damn near the same thing as a diamond. It cuts a little bit faster and it wears a little bit slower when it comes to knife sharpening. Technically, it would be like a 9 out of 10 on the hardness scale, and diamond is a 10 out of 10, which doesn't make sense on why it does last longer, but it does. And I've tested that. Another thing is we are going to talk about double-edged daggers, sharpening double-edged daggers, how to marry the tip. So let's get into it. So first, we're going to start off with this $100 sharpener. Let's start off with that. We're going to go right down the line, and I got to pull out my my little stones though. Which stone should we use? Let's use the KDTs, or no, this is the PDTs. Yeah, let's use the KDTs. I like these stones. These are hybrid bonded CBN stones. So basically a diamond, right? But these are hybrid. So the hybrid stands for, it's a mixture between the resin. So like my favorite sharpening stones are resin bonded diamond stones. These are a resin bond, but they add metal in it. So it's a metal and a resin bonded with CBNs mixed throughout. So it allows them to wear slower than what a traditional resin bonded stone would. And it goes all the way up to, I think, 15,000 grit or 10,000 grit, one of the two. You only really need to go up to 3,000 or 5,000 in reality. All right, so I think we might have to move. Oh no, there we go. I got it set in the groove. I just might have to move it like this for you guys to see. Let's pull this away, and we'll pull that back out in a second. And let's check out the clamp. All right, let's lower you guys down. All right, so here is the system. So we got the system. One cool thing I will say that TSPROF doesn't do, that this is really cool on, this guy. So this protects your hand so you don't slip off. I've actually done that. I've actually slipped and hit. Let me just move you guys back just a little bit. I've actually slipped and hit the edge right after it was freshly done. So I'm talking about brutally sharp. Brutally sharp. And I went with a super low angle. It was like a 15-degree edge, mirror polished to 5,000 grit, and my hand just slipped right past, and it just, just tore me up. Yeah, that was a bad one. And this prevents that from happening, which I do appreciate. So let's check the stone holder first, see how this is doing, because you can tighten it or lock it down. I don't know if I'll need to. I don't think I need to. I think that's good. Oh yeah, that's really secure. Okay, we don't have one thing. See, and this is the thing, like I always say, when you spend more, you're paying for convenience. So let's say you spend $100 on a sharpening system and another person has a $500 sharpening system. What are going to be the differences? It's all convenience. So the $100 system is going to have many, many, many frustrations. Like one, for an example, right here. This doesn't have a stopper. So now my thing can slip off of the knife or wind up scratching the surface of the blade. The TSPROF comes with little stoppers. So you can literally stop it exactly where you want to, and you can change them and move them. You can even lock it in place so it doesn't get in your way. This one you can't do that with. And then like the clamps are going to be a little bit more efficient. They're going to be, a little bit more precision. All the little parts, the gears, everything's going to move better. But really though, the big deal is the ability to take away the frustrations because of things just being more convenient, whether it's the the digital angle finder built in, the way you remove your stones, the way you change angles. You know, like I've had systems where you literally gotta fucking move the whole fucking thing and just winds up becoming a nightmare to change your angles. Another thing is they have stone compensators where if you're gonna change from a thinner stone to a thicker stone, you have the ability to do that. All right, let's lock in a knife really quick. I gotta get the bit for that. Right there. All right, I'm not gonna worry about taping. What knife am I gonna do? Let's do this one, just one practice one. Okay, so one thing I can already see right now is that the clamps don't go very tight together. It'd be cool if they made, like TSPROF, another thing, they make that center clamp. I doubt my center clamp would fit on this, but I will test in the review. I will test out parts to see if they fit. I doubt they will though. What am I doing? Oh, hello. Okay, let's clamp this sucker down. Okay, because when you have the clamp too close to the tip, you'll hit the corner of the clamp. So you got to be careful with that. When you're going like this, you'll wind up grinding the corner of it off. This one doesn't look like it's going to hit. Let me just make sure really quick. It's really close. It's really close, but I think we're going to make it. But it is damn close. All right, I'm going to move this damn thing. It's just aggravating me. This did come with a couple of rubber things I think I put on the bottom. All right. What?
What are you talking about again?
The feet on this. Okay, so this is soapy water, dish soap and water. Dawn dish soap. Just mix it up until the bubbles stop making noise like that when you shake it. When you shake it, you can hear it shaking back and forth. You want to hear that stop. If that stops and the bubbles expand so much that you stop hearing it shake, then that means you have the recipe right. Let's check our edge angle. I'm gonna grab the digital and see if this is correct or not. So it says right now, oh no, it doesn't tell me. I thought it told me the degrees, so I guess not. Oh, this one's gonna be a doubler, like the, what? You okay? What? I know. This is 10.5. And this is 8.7. So here's another thing, a frustration thing. This, I have to measure this angle and add them together. So that was, we'll say 8.5, and this was 10. We'll say 10.5. So we'll call it 20 degrees. It's about 20 degrees. I'm just gonna stick with it just because I'm already set. But what you can do is you can unclamp this right here, and then you can just spin this and move it up and down. That's how you change your angles. I don't wanna go too low of an angle with this. And then the way you flip your stone, or the knife, sorry, you unsnap that, and then right there. And then another thing, see how that clamp was? The TSPROF one is a lot more stable, but I mean, it's fine. Okay, this thing right now, I can feel this thing's about to come out. These are just the little frustrations, like I said, that you'll deal with. Now, right here, see how I can slip off with, if you have you can make one of those, by the way, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, let's test it out. Let's see how smooth this rod is. Okay, not too bad. It's actually pretty good. Not as smooth as a TSPROF, but I mean, it's for $100. This might be a really good system for $100. The only problem I see, and it's not that big of a deal. What's up, baby?
I'm just looking for my white pencil.
The one problem that I know is going to be a problem is the clamps. We need one for the center that's just one clamp. Not two separate ones, but just one wide clamp, because that will be good for blades this size and smaller. This is not going to do small knives very well. It's going to do medium. This is a large, you could call it a large, but it's a full size folding knife. So you can see it's handling the full size folding knife well, but if this was any smaller, it wouldn't work. Now I can use one clamp if I want, or take both clamps and put them on one side and just put them together. I could do that. So that is the way you get around it. If you do want to do a small knife or something where the clamps are too wide apart, being each on one side. So you can get past that. It's just, it'd be better if you didn't have to do that, because then the angle's a little different when you flip it. All right, let me grab some paper towels. All right, my scratch. Oh yeah, we already got a burr. Damn, that was quick. These are great stones. All right, let me just hit this heel really quick. This is gonna go by really quick. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty smooth. It's working pretty well. Let's go like that. Now lock it in. Now we gotta get the other side. I'm gonna do one reverse pass to flip my burr back over. And then let's see if we're hitting on this one. It's so close. It's so close to hitting. Like, we might end up hitting. Luckily, I'm not removing hardly any steel. If this is too loud in you guys' ears because my microphone's on me, let me know. I'll move the microphone away from me a little bit. It's got to be better than, oh yeah, I read that one. Damn, I got to catch up. Oh shit, I'm sorry guys. Super chat came in. Dukes, what's up Jared? Oh yeah, I read that one. What is going on? All right, there we go. You should whistle while you sharpen. I sometimes do. Okay, so back and forth motions, right? I get this question a lot. Should you go just 1, 2, like that? I'm lifting it up, setting it back down. Should you do that? Or should you go back and forth, right? Well, the answer is both. If you're doing freehand, which we're going to talk about here in a second when we test out these sharpening stones, if you're doing freehand, then the problem and the reason why some people, they just don't know, they think it's bad to go back and forth. Some people they just don't understand or know, or maybe they're not good at it, because the whole point is if you can hold the angle perfectly, it doesn't matter. As long as you can hold that angle, then you can go back and forth. It doesn't matter. This has been tested, and the difference in the edge, if you're stroking backwards or forward, it is so minimal, it's almost non-existent, any differences. Very, very little. Now, going back and forth all in one motion, like I said, as long as you can maintain the angle, then you're fine. It's just fine. The problem is some people won't be able to do that. They wind up dropping the angle, or they wind up convexing the edge more. So if you're wanting a perfectly flat bevel, it might be better for you to do single passes. But then another thing is some people aren't good at that. Some people are better at locking it in an angle and then going back and forth, which I understand, because that's how I was. I was much better at leaving the knife on the stone and just staying on the stone, rather than doing a pass, then picking it up, doing a pass, then picking it up. Now I can do it either way, but when I was first learning, I struggled with that. Okay, but if you do, just so you know, if you hit one area like you see me doing right there, blend it in. Never do more than like 3 to 5 passes in one area, like right here, how I'm doing that. I'm hitting the tip right now. I won't do more than just a couple passes before I blend it all in, and I'll do heel to tip passes. The reason why is because you don't want to remove too much material from any one part of the stone, or sorry, any one part of the edge. Am I hitting? I think I might be already starting to hit this damn clamp. No, maybe not. It's close though. But you don't want to hit one area like that too long without blending it in, because then more steel will be removed from that part of the edge than the rest of the edge, and it'll be very difficult to blend it in. So blend it in while you're going, so that you don't wind up having to do 30 minutes more on one side just trying to fix it, because you are removing steel from a particular part of the edge more than the others. All right, let's get to the next one. So we're not going to go very far with this. I'm not going to go to a polish or anything. I'm just, we're just trying to test this sucker out, see how well she does. flip this knife. Ooh, my knife shifted. It's another thing, there's no rubber on here. The TSPROF doesn't have rubber either. That would have been a nice little touch that they could have done for like no money, so I don't know why they didn't. So right there, I just flipped my burr over because I developed a burr. Anytime you sharpen one side, as you're sharpening, right, as you're sharpening one side, you develop a metal wire that folds over the other side. So if I'm sharpening this side of the edge bevel, a wire will fold over to this side. And then, so right there, when I go from tip to heel, I'm just flipping that burr back over. So I'm taking that metal wire and I'm passing it over to this side, because that metal wire is the burr, and the burr is something, one, you want to make sure you get a burr with each stone. And then at the end, when you're finishing, so when you're on your last stone and you're satisfied with your scratch pattern and the grit you're at, then you remove the burr to reveal the edge. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They think you sharpen a knife to sharp. That's kind of true. You sharpen each side and develop a burr. And then when you have the burr at the end, then you remove the burr and it reveals a sharp edge. So just a different way to kind of think about it. All the stones will go fast now after the first one, because the first one I do the most work on. That's the one that's going to do all the work, and the rest of the stones are only refining my scratch pattern. The scratch pattern is the microscopic serrations on the edge bevel that the stone leaves. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just replacing the other scratch pattern with a finer scratch pattern. Basically, just think of it like a saw blade or a serrated edge, right? If you take a serrated edge, there's big serrations and there's little serrations. A low grit or a coarse stone would be big serrations. A fine grit would be very tiny serrations. And that's basically what you're doing. So your edge bevel it's basically like a microscopic serrated blade. Okay, we're gonna do one more stone. It's not too hard doing the stone change. I think the spring will break in. It's just a little heavy, but I mean, maybe that's a good thing. Okay, so now tip to heel, flipping the burr back over, right? And now let's finish on the stone. So now I went from basically, I think, an 80 grit to, this is, well, it's 28/20 micron. So whatever that would be, like, I think like 600 grit basically. Let me think, 20/14, or no, 50/40 is, so maybe it's like 1200. I'm not sure. Somebody look that up. 28 micron. What grit is 28 micron? A lot of their stones, though, do tell you the actual American grit rating. These are using the F rating in some cases, but they are basically showing you both. You can see them both like on their site, and their stones in many cases will tell you both of them. Like this one's telling me this is their 200 and it's a 125/100. All right, we're almost done. We're gonna flip or get this burr developed one more time, and then we're gonna knock that sucker off. We're gonna call it a day with this one. Then we'll go to the freehand. The base is actually pretty good because I have a nice platform to hold my hand on to stop it from going like that, because you will tilt it, but you can hang on to the backside. You got to do the same thing with a lot of TSPROFs, except for the KO3. The KO3 is just a lot more heavy duty, but you just wind up doing it anyways. It just feels good to hold it securely so you're not moving it around and stuff. So, all right, so we developed the burr. Now I'm gonna flip the burr, heel to tip, one pass. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do two passes. Then I'm gonna flip the knife, do that again, tip to heel, flip it again. And what we're doing is we're flipping the burr back and forth until it snaps off. We want it to naturally snap off. However, now we can do like one single pass up. Now, when we do our burr removal, no pressure. When we're sharpening, you add a few pounds of pressure. When you're doing a burr removal, No pressure at all. So the weight of the stone. All right, that felt pretty good. This is 14C28N, and 14C28N, typically the burr comes off pretty easily. Civivi does a good job with their 14C, by the way. This is the Sokoke, whatever. Great knife. I did rate it budget knife of the year a couple years ago. Now it's been outbeat, but it's a great knife though. And I got the best version. Oh yeah, that actually came out really nice. Really, really good. Let's get a strap. Oh, I should have hit a strap. I didn't even think to put the strap in here. I'm so used to doing freehand. I didn't even think. I should have put it, because I could have put the strap in here and used that strap. But we're just going to use my hand strap. Yeah, that feels good. Oh yeah, that fucker's real sharp. Let's get a U-line book. Very nice. I'm sure it would be close to doing a paper towel. We'll see. Yeah, it's a little rough, but it does it. It will definitely cut a paper towel, but it is rough. But that's fine. I mean, a coarse edge is still a great edge. It's just a little bit nippier, a little bit more tooth to it. This feels really good though. The scratch pattern is nice. The bevel does look nice and even from one side to the other. Luckily, I had already sharpened this, so I didn't have to reprofile it. I basically just matched up the angle I already had. This is an awesome knife. All right, I'm going to talk to you guys for a second, and then we're going to switch over to the new sharpening stones. While first I'm going to clean up really quick, and then we're going to move over to these sharpening stones. So far, I think it's actually well worth the money. I'll be honest. I do think $100 is like almost a steal of a deal for this guy, especially when you compare it to Work Sharp, TSPROF, Hapstone, and all these other sharpening, KME, Wicked Edge. The list goes on and on. Even Lansky, you know, you got to think you're paying about the price you're going to pay for the Diamond Lansky, which isn't half as this. So, yeah, and it does come with the anchors to bolt it down to a surface if you want. I'll say this. No, it is nowhere near the quality of a TSPROF, like nowhere near. None of these parts are even the same, like the quality of the material that they use. They use high quality stainless. This is all like aluminum parts, and it just, it doesn't feel as tough. But hey, you know, for $100, man, you're going to get a damn good sharpened edge. And then they do give you sharpening stones. The only problem is their sharpening stones suck. This is the sharpening stones. So this is their sharpening stones. These are diamond plates, but look at how close they are to that plastic. I just don't like that. This is a 2000. This does not feel like a 2000. But let me see here. 320, 800, and 2000. That is a crazy jump. Wow. 320, 800, then up to 2000. Okay. I mean, you can do it. But yeah, at least you get 3 stones. So you have sharpening stones. If you buy the system, you'll have everything you need to get a sharp edge, as long as the knife is not too small. Let's pull out our stone holder and some stones. All right, KUBEY, you'll be listening. I appreciate it. That is significantly cheaper than most other intro system. Looks like a great way to get started. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would say that the thing is like I said, the more you save money-wise, typically the more frustrations you're going to have. This system is going to be far more frustrating than a TSPROF, which is fine. You know, you're not paying the prices of TSPROF, so you don't deserve that part. But I will say this. This is as good as some systems that are in the $200, $250, $300 range. It's at least right there with them. Yeah. The thing is, though, is that you can imagine there's no warranty. You're not going to be able to get parts. You're not going to be able to get, I mean, unless if somebody makes aftermarket parts, which actually, now that I think about it, some of you guys watching right now, hey, if somebody out there can do some CNC or anything like that, this might be a really good system to buy and then you make parts for, because then the more people buy them, you know, they'll buy it for that reason. They'll buy it because, hey, if I buy it, somebody's already making these parts. Like, just for an example, WorkSharp. I've sold hundreds, if not thousands of aftermarket stone holders for the WorkSharps. And that's, you know, just another company making them. All right, so we're gonna use these new bonded CBN stones. What about the KME stones on the system? So you can do that because you can adjust this. So the KMEs are you talking about the new KME or the old KME? The old KME is 4-inch. So all you gotta do is just adjust it. So see how you can go like this? You can screw this in tight. So you can do all the way up to a 1-inch stone if you wanted, or up to 6, 7 inches. So yeah, it'll work with any stone, basically. Any stone for a fixed angle system. Do you remember who won the Herman today? Just so you guys know, we did a giveaway today. We gave away a Herman to one of the members. We gave away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We gave away 7 knives. And yeah, you're right, Corey, yeah. So I don't know if Corey's in here, but Corey won a damn good thing today. So all the knives, there was 5 premium knives and 2 budget knives in that. And the budget knives were still over $50, $60. They're like $75, $80 knives. And then we gave away 5 premium knives. Kara, tell Jared I asked him a question. Oh, what's up? What's up? Ian, Jared, budget TSPROF versus cadet. What? Yeah, she's not watching. She don't like you guys. The cadet is just built better. I would say this is going to be probably obviously a better bang for your buck because you're going to spend a lot more for the cadet. But the cadet is better. It's better all the way around. The parts are better. The parts are fit better. The parts move better. The stone holder, everything's better on it. But when you're talking about the price difference, though, I will say that this is a way better value because you're getting 70% of the cadet here. 70%. So that's, you know, not too bad. Bama. I just posted the well, I think you did enter that one. But go watch the video. If you guys are members, make sure you watch the video, the giveaway video, because at the end I show the new knives we're giving away. I only put 3 in right now. I'm going to put in a couple more when we do the actual poll, but I threw in 3 premium knives in there.
You should give away Bama.
Edgy American, what's up, brother? Look who's talking. I have an appointment to talk with you. What's up, baby?
So we should give away Bama.
Give away Bama?
Yeah.
Let's just give him away?
It's
That's not a bad idea. We should give his truck away.
No.
He loves that thing.
No. Let's traffic him.
Traffic him.
Yeah.
Hey, Bama, we need you to meet somebody somewhere.
It's totally not shady.
It's totally normal.
Normal things.
The cadet is like $440, isn't it? Yes. The Pioneer is the entry. I honestly, Pin Squid, did you win something?
Yeah, wait, that name sounded so
Pin Squid.
No, I think you're thinking.
Pin Squid won something. Yeah. He won something in the giveaway. Yeah.
Pin Squid.
Yeah. I'm not telling you what though.
Also, yeah, somebody did email you about a meeting.
A meeting?
Yeah, I don't think you opened it today, but
Okay,
I
I'll try
I didn't
it.
want to open it either, so that you didn't not open it. But I saw like the beginning sentence.
So, in my opinion, the Pioneer is better than the Cadet
These guys
because it's cheaper and it's like 95% of what the Cadet is. 2 things though, with the Cadet or the Pioneer, which I have both of them right here, I could grab them. The Cadet or the Pioneer, you need to get, if you have the Pioneer, you could just clamp it to a table. That's how it works. It comes with a C-clamp, but they have a large base for it that you can buy. It is like, it winds up making the price higher, so you don't have to get it. But if you do, it does make it more like actually better than the Cadet because the base is way bigger and way heavier than the Cadet. It gives you the KO3 base, the same one I pulled out a minute ago. And then you want to get the other stone clamp, the single head stone clamp. That, I don't care what system you get from TSPROF, grab that stone clamp. That makes it to where you'll be able to do basically any knife because you'll be able to do small knives and like certain weird shapes all the way up to like super big knives. But yeah, hey, 50 bones from Brad. Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation, man.
might have been to buy
Or actually,
Bama.
support. I'm not even gonna say donation.
That might have
Support.
been to buy Bama. That might have been a bid on.
Oh, it's a bid on Bama.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a Bama bid.
Brad, thank you, man. I do appreciate the support, man. I have the TSPROF Cadet Pro, great system. Like I said, the Pioneer is it's cheaper, it's more affordable, it's newer, and it's most of what the Cadet is. Like it's like 98% of what the Cadet is. The big difference is the base. I get a special Jared package. You got one coming, brother. You got one coming. Thank you, Todd. Thank you very much. Pioneer X dog. Where is the entry video? The entry video is, I just posted it. So the entry video just went up. It's literally the last video that was posted on the channel, well, to the members. It says giveaway winners and entry. All right, so we're talking double-edged daggers here. So let's, I have a couple different daggers here we can do. I also have the RIA EXO. I was thinking about sharpening, but I can't find it now. What the hell did I do with it? Oh. Okay, that's weird. Oh, there it is. So I could do the RIA, or we can do one of these cold steels. This one is pretty cool. The one difference is this is much thicker behind the edge than this one, so this one would take a little bit longer. But we're going to talk, and it has this guard right there, so that can get in the way from doing, anytime you see a guard like this, and the edge is tight to the base, like if the edge started up here, it wouldn't matter, but since it starts way down there, you know it's going to be difficult for you to come in at an angle, right? Because now I'm not hitting the back of the edge, so you have to come in straight forward like this when you do it, and go across and do it like that. So that's how you got to sharpen these. So with this one, what happened? I don't know. There it goes. All right, so in about 2 minutes, we'll start sharpening this one. This one is a single-edged dagger, but it has a concaved other side. So it's a single-sided blade. So it's single-edged, it's double-edged, but on one side, not on this side. And then this side is concaved in. It's hard to tell, but it's like it dips down in the middle. And you have to put it in the right way in the sheath. This one you can flip any direction, which is always cool. This is a premium gravity knife, the exoskeleton. This one's in 3V, I think. Yes, 3V steel with a double-edged spear point or dagger style blade, titanium handle, lock, and clip. Badass knife. By the way, they do have a budget version that recently dropped on Blade HQ. Links are down in the description with an aluminum handle and I think Nitro V steel for like 120 bucks. Also, Bama.
No, you don't have to read that.
Okay.
I told you what you sprayed the stone with. It's just soapy water, right?
Uh-huh. Hey, will you grab me my soapy water? I dropped it.
Don't tell people the secret recipe this time, though. Who's giving up our recipe for the soapy water?
I know, I just need to make it and just tell everybody it's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
This is the snake oil. Don't forget to buy your snake oil now. No, it's dish soap and water.
Jared!
Shaken up.
No!
Now everybody knows.
Method too. Now they can reverse engineer it.
I know. Where can I get that stone? Okay, this stone, you can get these stones. You can get these stones. They're very expensive, mind you. But hear me out, though. There's multiple reasons why. So, one, you can get these at USA Market. Links are down in the description. They have the single ones like this. If you're willing to put your own back on it, then you can get these for a little bit cheaper, like 5 or 10% cheaper, because they put the backs on it basically so they can lift you up higher than your stone holder when it's in, because you have a little ridge right there, so you need to go up higher than that. But I've been using them just like this, and it's been fine, but it is better with the base. But you can figure something out. These are CBN, and they're metal bonded CBN. So these are the slowest wearing stones, basically, on the planet. They wear so slow. The only thing I could think of that would last maybe longer than this is a ceramic plate, because, you know, they basically don't wear at all. These guys are so slow wearing that this will probably last you a lifetime. You'll probably pass it down to your children and your grandchildren. Just depends on how much you sharpen. Somebody who sharpens like for like a business, like so sharpens like 10 knives a day, it's probably gonna last you like 10 years. But who does that? I don't even sharpen that much. I used to, and I'll tell you what, my resin bonded stones still are like they still probably have like 3/4 of their life left. And I used to sharpen like a dozen knives a day. Let's see here, USA market. Yes, thank you, Todd. So these are, like I said, metal bonded CBN stones. And this is the new version. You do not have to use them wet, but you can if you want to. You can use soapy water on them, but you can just use them dry. Doesn't matter. Double-edged dagger, okay? So, and typically I like to go at an angle when I sharpen, but here, because of the guard, we're gonna go just like this. So what I'm gonna do is, just like with any knife, right? So you wanna find your angle. And in this case, this is how I would find. I would literally just pick my angle because whatever angle I pick is what the edge bevel is gonna be. I'm not that worried about it, and I'm gonna be close enough. But if you're worried about that, because I know a lot of people are worried about that part, just look at the heel of the blade and see that shadow, right? See how there's a shadow right here. Don't look over here, right here. See how there's a shadow? Now what you want to do is lift it up until the shadow goes away. Bam, right there. That is your angle. Right now there's a light shining this way. So if there's a light shining this way towards you, right? Basically you want to reflect back the light. So like, let's say if behind me is a light, then when I lift it up this way to get this angle, the part that's closer to me, I'm gonna wait until it's basically reflecting back at me. Right now it's a shadow because I don't have a light behind me. I have a light in front of me. So, you know, just whichever way the light is, that's one way you can do it. Another way is very simple. Just lift it until you see the apex, the very, very apex, hit the stone. And I don't mean like hit the stone and then you lift up a little bit higher. I'm talking about the second it touches, that's your angle. I know I used to struggle with that, and I would think like, am I right there? Like, or do I need to lift it up just a little bit more? You'd be kind of frustrated trying to figure it out, but I'm telling you, it's literally the second it touches, that's your angle. So when you're lifting, bam, right there. As soon as I see that apex touch. Now, if you don't see it touch, because right here is a tiny bit thicker than right here, it can be a little bit frustrating because you got to kind of grind that out first to really find your angle. That's why I think it's good to find or to buy quality knives. Poor quality knives can have, or good quality knives can have that, but typically that happens on lower quality knives. Like even like this is a budget knife. This is a very cheap knife. It's not an expensive knife at all. So it's going to have these little details. All right, so right now I'm going to start with a pushing motion. So right here, I got my angle right there. Now I'm not going to push like this because the edge is right there, right? I can't do that. So what I need to do is I need to put my fingers on top and go like that, straight across. And then as I'm coming over to the belly, I raise up. Man, this thing is rough.
Yeah, that sounds crispy.
Well, it's so brand new, so I haven't used it yet.
Well, it sounds crispy.
So I'm pushing forward, and when I turn this way, I'm lifting my elbow.
I think the cool kids just call it a bow.
What?
Cool kids just call it a bow.
They just call it the bow?
Yeah, you don't gotta say L.
The elbow?
There ain't no other bow.
Oh, it's just bows?
There ain't no bow, there ain't no Q bow, you just say bow.
That is kind of true.
You don't need
God, that is.
I've never thought of it as being called an L bow, like the letter L.
Yeah.
Well, right now.
Oh, because it's the shape of an L.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
No, but it's spelled E-L.
What?
It's spelled with the E.
Yeah, that's just the way to do it.
No.
So I'm pushing straight back and forth just because I'm trying to grind out a little spot right there in the heel, but I'm going to blend it in. Just like I said on the fixed angle system, I'm going to blend it in.
Sure. Is it
Yeah.
arm straight? Is it an I bow? Or is it still an L with a lowercase L?
Say that again?
If you put your arm straight, is it an I bow or does it just stay as an L because the lowercase?
It's capital.
Capital what?
Or it's a lowercase.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. All right, it checks out.
All right, so lower the angle a little bit more. So you should see the scratch pattern cover the entirety of the bevel This one might take a little while because it's so thick. I might change over to the EXO. I think the EXO will be a little bit safer for us to do right now. This one's going to take so long. I think it'll be brutal for you guys to watch me do that one. Let's just do the expensive knife, right? Well, because the bevel's it's more even. I don't have to sit there and make it better, and it's thinner, and it has choils, and it literally is just a million times better to sharpen. So it'll be much easier for me to show it to you guys instead of me getting frustrated. Same concept though, but the thing is with this one, most double edge daggers typically have a high edge angle. So we're not going to lower back the edge angle too far. And you want to be careful because these are thicker because the spine is the middle of the blade. See that line? So this is the thickest portion right here, right? So it doesn't have very far to go from here to get down to a thin edge. It's a thin blade for the most part, but this is thick kind of because it's made to be stable for, you know, penetrating, right? So it's not made for regular slicing. Of course you can slash and slice and poke, but mostly for poking. So because of that, when you sharpen it, if you do a low edge angle, like I would do on any other knife, like I would do on this knife right here, right? Beautiful mirror polish edge that I did. If I did this bevel on this, it would probably be like half the fucking, or half this side. Like it would be a giant bevel. So you want to do a high edge angle, which will still leave you a big bevel. So I'm going to hold a high angle and I'm going to take a look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple passes and see how close I am. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about marrying the two together here in a second. Okay, so right there, that is damn near the edge angle. That's probably a 30-degree edge angle. You know, I could grab my angle finders and try to match it up. Yeah, very high edge angle, but that's fine though. Like I said, this is not trying to be the sliciest knife in the world. It's trying to, because also another thing, if I did a big bevel here, yes, it'd be much more slicey, but this tip would be way more fragile. His mirroring tips. Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some mirroring tips. When does the misdemeanor come out? In like 2 weeks. It's on the way right now. They just shipped it on Monday or Tuesday, I think it got shipped out. So it should be to us in 2 weeks from that day. And as soon as it gets to us, we're going to do some quality control checks, and then we're going to put the countdown on the site. So the site Neve Knife Co. will have a countdown. So you will know the moment it is dropping. So everybody will get equal opportunity. All right, so the bevel is a bit bigger though. I am making it bigger. So even with me holding basically a 30-degree angle, I'm still lowering back the edge bevel a little bit, which is fine. I don't mind a little bit. I just don't want to go too far because like I said, then my tip will be fragile and so on. So, but one thing you want to do with double edge is you don't want to work on one side too long. You want to switch to the other side because you don't want to remove too much metal from one side and then it be uneven. So I have a little bit more I'm going to do really quick, and then we're going to switch over to the other side. Now, 3V steel, I personally love a polish on 3V. I don't think we're going to go up to a polish with this one just because there's so many edges and it just takes a while to do that, but this is a steel I love to see a mirror polish on. It's a phenomenal steel, extremely tough. It's like one of the toughest premium steels on the planet. It holds an edge about as good as S35, S30V. But the toughness makes it to where its edge stability is just insane. So it does really, really good with a fine edge. I've actually found that it does better with a polished edge than it does a medium grit edge. Now, I wouldn't put a polished edge on, you know, a fixed blade chopper or whatever, which is kind of what the steel is designed for. But when it comes to pocket knives, I mean, it's good. Did a comment come and go? Some kind of druggy thing?
Said you're on cocaine and Todd deleted it. So
Somebody said I'm on cocaine?
yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You're always on
Yeah, I'm always on something anyway.
Even before the channel, people would say that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called passion and energy. I've always been a high energy. I'm a very A-type personality.
Activity disorder or whatever.
And I don't have that, but I mean,
Right.
I might. I guess when I was a kid, you didn't know, but I mean, I don't think they even had it when I was a kid.
Some of your cousins are like that too. It's like a family thing.
Yeah.
Fidgety.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I have like an A-type personality where I'm a high-driven individual. My whole family is, my entire family is. Like,
it's actually a trait of type A-type personalities is inability to stop pacing or working so hard that you crash out and exhaustion.
That's me. Yeah.
Like
That is exactly me.
That's like on the extreme.
If I'm on the phone, I pace the entire time.
God, yes, you do.
I never stop moving.
She's like, why is he so fidgety?
Yeah, I just, you know, I can't stand not doing something. I got to be moving, got to be doing something, got to be working on something. If I'm doing that, then I'm good. But I can't stand the thought of like if I'm not working or doing something that's constructive, I go crazy. Okay, so I'm going to do the opposite side. So we just did this bevel, right? It's not done. I have a little bit more, but I'm starting to get a burr up here. But I don't want to go too far on this side without going to this side and evening it up a little bit. So I'm going to hit this side, but this side, like I said, we can't put our thumb on the back of this. So we have to be careful. And the way we're going to match the angle, just to make sure, I'm going to do a couple passes really quick. And then we're going to take a look at it.
Mike says you're sharpening backwards. Look it up. You're doing that backwards.
Look it up.
Yeah,
okay.
Look it up. You're sharpening backwards.
Nope. Nope. So again, I was talking about this earlier because I knew somebody probably going to say that. There is no such thing. It's we've done tests on this. You can even go watch Outdoors 55 did a full test on this and proved it without a shadow of a doubt. There's no difference. The difference is so minimal. The big thing is whether or not you can hold the angle. If you can hold your angle, then it doesn't matter if you're going back and forth, if you're going single passes, if you're doing it backwards, doesn't matter. It's what are you good at? What can you do? I can do them all. So now I wouldn't teach them all, but I do teach to go back and forth because I know like right there how I'm going back and forth. That can be easier for people to stick to an angle rather than picking it up and setting it down and restarting. Now, if you are going to do that, like I say, lock your wrist and use your elbow. Otherwise, you will lose your angle every time you pick it up. It's very difficult to match your angle every time you set it down. Even me, it moves at a microscopic level. So what I do is typically I will I'll stay locked in and I'm really good. But if I am going to do double passes, then I do at least like 20 passes and then I'll check it so that slight little angle change doesn't show. Wouldn't sharpening backwards be dulling? No. Your bevel is it's a ramp. So you're just sharpening a ramp. It's kind of like say if I gave you a piece of wood, right? And I say if I took a 2x4 and I cut 2 angles on it, so now you have a peak, a 2x4 with a peak. And I told you to sand it down, right? You could easily sand it down both directions. So no, it doesn't hurt to do that as long as you're holding the edge angle. If you're not on the edge angle, the biggest problem people have is they go like this. They'll go forward, and then when they go back, they go like this. They drop it. So they drop it like that, which makes your bevel uneven. It makes it convex. So as long as you have no problem holding it, then it's just fine. Just like even a fixed angled system, you can do it. It doesn't dull your edge. Dulling your edge means the only way you can dull your edge is if your angle's different. And it'd have to be higher because a lower angle will never dull an edge. That hits the back of the bevel. A higher angle is what hits the apex. So as long as you can do that, you're fine. As long as you don't raise your angle up, you'll be fine. And doing a knife like this, like I could sit here and do single passes, but it would take me twice as long. Now, that's not going to be for everybody because if you struggle with holding the angle, it's going to take you twice as long to remove more steel faster because you're going to mess up your bevel and you're going to have to fix it. And it's going to drive you nuts. So to prevent that, just don't do that. Okay, this bevel actually looks even better than the other side. But I think it's just because I'm not, so I have a little bit back here I haven't hit yet. We're looking at this side. My bevel's a little bit bigger on this side though. We'll even that up though. It's looking good though, looking great. What?
I don't know, I'm cracking myself up.
What are they saying?
Well,
What are they saying?
no, I'm laughing at myself.
Oh.
I'm just me over here.
Well, I want to hear. I want to be part of it.
I don't know. Yeah,
Minus the Jared part. Are you spiring me, bruh? What? What is that? Are you spiring me, bruh? What does that mean? It's hilarious. I don't even know what it means, and I love it.
Same minus the Jared part.
What? What was it?
Somebody earlier said, "Do you believe in Jesus?" Just as a comment. I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, a chick that believes in Jesus." I said, "Yeah, he's my main man, even over Jared, but no one else." And then for some reason I said, "No homo." I don't. He was like, I don't know, whatever he said there. Same minus the Jared part.
Nice.
So he does not like you. Like that.
You better know how to fillet the fuck out of a fish. Oh, I can fillet the fuck out of a fish. We got a Burr.
Don't say that.
Why?
You're just so aggressive.
Okay. So now here's the thing. I do not want to finish this side. I do not want to do that. So what I want to do is I have a burr on this side, so I'm gonna have to come back. Because remember, I wasn't done with this bevel yet. I had a little tiny bit at the heel, and I need to even up the bevel from one side to the other. We're leaving it. We're gonna go to the other side because we've already removed an amount of steel on one side, so now we need to remove some on this side to even it up. Never work on one side too long. You will wind up taking more material than you think, and then next time when you look at it, like you'll be going to the other side, and then you'll look at it and you'll be like, whoa, how did this get so uneven? And it's just you got ahead of yourself. So don't ever get ahead of yourself. Boing. Thank you for the 2 crackers. Denise, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Long time no talk. How's Muay Thai going? I've seen some of those videos of the fighters you're training, man. They look great. You got a hell of a thing going over there.
Jared,
yeah.
Someone asked how you started sharpening, and I let him know that you were contemplating my murder, but then you found out how relaxing sharpening is.
Yeah, that's what happened. I wound up.
You sharpen and I get to live.
Yeah, I was gonna, I wanted to make sure I had like something that was super sharp, no pain, I just wanted to end it quick. But then, I found out, but then it wound up curing me. It wound up curing me. It was like therapeutic. So
I think the frequency of the was like louder than my voice.
Now when she's talking, I'm just sitting there.
You always play that song.
Yeah.
Dennis said, shit, I had a free one. I had my 2 bones back. Yeah, you gotta refund that, baby.
Yeah, you can have it back.
Get it from Bama.
Oh, shit. Yeah, get it from Bama.
He's our refund department for...
Refund department. Bama. Member for 24 months with the Benchmade shit. I had a free one. Can I? Yeah, that's funny. Appreciate the support, man. Don't forget, go enter that giveaway I just posted. Somebody just won a badass motherfucking knife. Actually, there was 7 badass knives. 5 of which were all premium. And one of them was $1,000 knife. Damn near. All right, so we're looking really, really good. Which side was I on now? That's one thing, you start getting tricked on which side you're on, you forget.
Real tricky.
Here's this one. Anytime I do that back and forth right there, I'm paying attention to the heel, but I'm gonna blend it in. I'm only doing that to kind of set my bevel. That's kind of why I'm doing it. I'm also removing a little bit of steel there because it is a little bit of a thicker part, but I'm kind of getting my angle set a little bit, and then I'm going forward. So it's kind of just kind of like cutting in the bevel I'm gonna start with, and then I blend it all in. You do not want to do that too much, like I was saying before. Couple passes when you do that, then instantly blend it in. Otherwise you'll get ahead of yourself. Where did you get your stones? These ones are USA Market. Links are down in the description. USA Market, these are the PDT stones. The metal bonded CBNs. I got a full review on them coming very, very soon. And then also we should be getting the hybrids in 3x8 stones soon. That's what I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about the hybrid bonded stones. That's with another 2 crackers. Me, fuck again. And that swordfish, which I desire in a chaste way. You know, dog, somebody just won one. It's funny. Too bad it wasn't you, man. I didn't know you were wanting one that bad. I am thinking about, just so you guys know, you guys might find this interesting. We haven't decided if we're going to absolutely do it, but there's this, I don't want to shout them out, but there's this place where you can go and you can auction stuff off. So I was thinking about taking, because I have an unbelievable amount of knives, like entirely way too many. And if I don't start getting rid of them, I'm going to drown. So I'm thinking about grabbing a few boxes, bins of just full of knives and bringing them and auctioning them off on that place. So the cool thing is that, there's other people, you know, that do it too. So it's not like it would be just me, but I'm saying like the site allows people to auction stuff off, and it might be a good way for you guys to get knives really fucking cheap. So my plan was to basically make these like so cheap. They're auctioning them so people can bid. So, but I'm going to start with them really low, because remember, a lot of these are what companies gave me. Some of them I bought, but you know, a lot of them are what companies gave me. So it's all profit for me to some extent. Now, don't get me wrong. If I worked 7 hours on a video for a $30 knife, then I've paid for that knife 10 times over. You know what I mean? But there are some where, you know, the knife might be worth more than some of the efforts I put in. It just depends.
You guys super cat.
But anyways, the point is that I need to sell some knives, make some money, which is all for the channel, because the whole point on getting the knives and, you know, and review them is for the channel. So this will help me either, one, put more into the channel, or do something, but it'll definitely let me lighten some weight, because I have so many coming in every day. I can't, you know, that's why I try to give away a lot. How would you compare versus the Ken Onion? How would I'd kill that thing. I have, yeah, hang on a second. I have 2 of them. No, I didn't see the super chat.
Another one from Dennis.
I already said that one.
No, another one, the second one?
Me, Bama.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Pew! It's been a member for 17 months. But yeah, with the Ken Onion, I would smoke that thing out of the water, because that's a belt sharpening system that can never compare to a good stone sharpened edge, especially if you're talking about fixed angled, right? Fixed angled is always going to perform better than any belt sharpened edge. Stones are superior in every way. In fact, if you do an edge retention test of a belt sharpened edge versus a stone sharpened edge, stone sharpened will win damn near every time. Now, if it's a super steel, it will win by a long shot. And the reason why is because the belts are usually aluminum oxide or silicon carbide. They're not hard enough to sharpen the carbides and the steels. So then the edge of the steel, yes, it'll still sharpen the knife. So people they don't understand. Like they'll tell me like, I had no problem sharpening my Maximet on blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you're talking about just whether or not the edge got sharp. You're not talking about the quality of the edge. On a microscopic level, you have carbides hanging out of your edge, and those are going to shatter every time you cut with them, which is just going to make your edge dull fast. So anyways, my point is that stones are the best, and picking the right stone and using the right stones is always going to be superior to any other sharpening way, no matter what. Belt sharpened edges will never compare to a good fixed angled or a good freehand edge. You have to be a good freehand edge sharpener, but with belt sharpened edges, they're great for tough edges. That's what they're good for. So they're convexed. Not all belt edges are convexed, but the Ken Onion one is a convex edge. So a convex edge is like this instead of like this, right? Instead of a V, like what we're doing right now, it's like this. Like the head of an arrow, or the head of a bullet. The convex edges are great for like knives like this. This has a convex edge on it right here. That's a convex edge. Super tough edge though, so I can chop with it and I don't have to worry about it getting defects and stuff. because it's a hard use knife. It's a tough knife. That's what convex edges are good for. Now, convex edges are just fine for folding knives, especially if you're, hold on a second, especially if you're tough on your edge, then you might want a convex edge. My favorite edge of all edges is a semi-convex, meaning it's not quite a V-grind and it's not quite a convex. It's like the middle ground between both, because then it helps me, one, keep the sharpness of the V-grind and the edge retention of the V-grind while also adding a little tiny bit of toughness to it, which adds edge stability. What's up?
A couple times somebody brought up like the Ken Onion work sharp, and
yep.
did you already see that? And like
that's what I was just talking about.
Okay, that's I was focused on typing, so I wasn't sure. And then also somebody asked what stone you're using a couple times, and then somebody else said, "Can you put a damn paper towel under that and it won't scoop?"
This?
Yeah, under your stone.
It's rubber.
Well, put a damn paper towel under it.
The paper towel's not going to stop it. It's going to make it worse.
Might.
I promise you.
Yeah. You said damn, so I felt like
paper towel makes it worse. This is a rubber surface, so it already has grip. This is my board moving, but doesn't matter. It'll be fine.
Maybe he meant under the board.
Maybe he did. Maybe he meant that. That actually might be true. I'll try that. That actually might have been true. I might have been an asshole just now. So let's go like that. Oh yeah, that is a lot better. Thank you, sir. Oh yeah, that's a bit better.
My phone keeps correcting to cowhide. It's making me mad.
What?
My phone keeps auto-correcting to cowhide.
Cow to cowhide?
Yeah,
cow. All right, where the hell did my knife go? Okay, the bevel I'm doing right here, I wasn't paying attention, and it whoops. And my bevel is a little bit smaller than the other side, so I need to work on it really quick and line that sucker back up. So this one right here. I do like that these stones are way more aggressive than they originally were. These new versions are even better than the old ones. The original ones were good, but the aggression wasn't there. These ones have the aggression. I like that. I like that. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. What's up, baby? What?
Was this supposed to be members only?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
The members video just went up before this. If you're a member, go watch the members video, because that's a giveaway video and an entry video. You don't have to, you can wait till after. I mean, it's always gonna be there. You're gonna have a week or so to enter, so. Okay, so we have burrs all over the place. So we just did this side, which I do have a little bit more work to do on. What?
Do you have a video on zero bevel sword sharpening?
Say that again?
Do you have a video on zero bevel sword sharpening?
I do not, but I do have a video coming really soon on sharpening a katana, freehand.
What kind of knife do you think Jesus would have carried?
What?
What kind of knife do you think Jesus would have carried?
A dagger.
That's what I was feeling too.
Like this?
Like that one I showed you this morning.
Hmm.
You know, that black blade?
Well, it mentions swords a lot in the Bible.
Well, that black blade thing that showed that dagger I showed you, that fanciful kind of one, it's like, I have a replica of it made out of like silver. And it looks, I don't know, I feel like that'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe. Also though, if you go to, I don't want to mix them all together, but like the India countries, you know, Pakistan, India, you know, Jerusalem, stuff like that. If you go there, they really like, they have a lot of different blade shapes, but they're really known for Persian blade shapes and stuff. But I think back then they wouldn't have been doing that. I think it would have been just like a simple design, you know, like whatever worked, you know, which is going to be a drop point or a spear point style blade in most, you know, cases. All right, so now we need to flip this burr. We need to work on this side. So what I'm going to do is, now this is going to be the second pass. So we got our bevel set all the way around. This final one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we have the entire bevel set all the way around. We're gonna even them up. So I tried to make sure that one wasn't bigger than the other, but there is a little bit, you know, this one's a little bit better than this one and blah, blah, blah. So we're gonna even it all up now, because now we can see where our imperfections are and straighten them out. We're gonna start with this one right here. And I'm starting with the heel, like always, and then holding my fingers at the tip of, or the middle of the knife. That's where, and I'm not putting pressure, no pressure at all. This is literally just balance. And then as it comes across, I'm letting it kind of slide through my fingers. And when it gets to the tip, I'm gonna pull the tip in like that. So just like that. So now I can feel when the tip hits. So now if I want to come back, all I have to do is now drop my elbow and push forward. Come back, lift my elbow, drop it, push forward. Then I can keep that same angle. Now, if I'm gonna do single passes, like so, then every time I pick my knife up, like right there, I just got to the tip. So now when I wanna go back to this side of the stone, I need to lift up, just straight up, and I need to just drop my elbow and go back across, but leave my wrist locked. That's where you're gonna fuck your angle up, is right here. If you move this even that much, this much, this much, any little bit is gonna fuck your angle up. Any of it. So instead of moving your wrist, use your elbow and your shoulder. You can even use your body if you have a chair that lets you lean or whatever, but I'm focusing at the heel, pulling it straight across. When I get to my belly, I need to lift in order to get to the tip. So I'm gonna lift, 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 tip's hitting. Now I pick back up, drop my elbow. When you get really good, then you can fluctuate your wrist a little bit, but you want to wait, you want to get the muscle memory of locking it first. Okay, we have some heel action we need to get. You get a little fatigue holding this square knife. Yes, it's the way. Supposedly the Spyderco triangle is the easiest, but I just don't have any luck. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's the easiest. I would say the easiest is always going to be a fixed angle sharpening system. But if you're talking about for like sharpening stones, rods, things like that, it's going to be this. Something like this is going to be the easiest. Especially if you have an angle guide like this one, and this one. These are angle guides you can just put on them. But these are super easy to use because you just, let me find it. Okay. You just follow this angle right here, go down, hit the stone, and then hold it.
Somebody bought a copper speckled carbon fiber factor. That's dope.
Nice, nice. Yeah, the factors are badass. Somebody told me they missed out on the winter blades in order to get my knife design, which I gotta say made me feel pretty damn good. So I appreciate that big time, Holmes. Okay, we're right here. I'm gonna flip the stone because I've been using a lot of this one. This side's really aggressive still, so. Oh wow, it feels different on this side. Oh, that feels good. Like I said, no pressure with this hand. This hand is just a balancing. Basically, it's an indicator. If I start moving or fluctuating, I can feel it under my fingers. Another thing is if there is a little spot that I need to get, like say if there's one spot on the blade that's not being hit really nice, I will just put the weight on my fingers. No pressure. Pressure will fuck your edge all up. No pressure. Just literally the weight of your fingers will absolutely isolate that part of the edge. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you two questions. You're going to answer both of them. All right? First one is work sharp precision adjust over the Ken Onion. Like which one? And then the other one is what do you think of the baby badger thick blade? Go!
Work sharp precision adjust, no. I would say go with the Ken Onion. Work sharp professional precision, yes, that one's the best one. And I say that because the one's a 1/2 inch by 4 inch stones. The professional is 1 by 6 inch stones. Way more effective, way better. Everything about it is better, 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 better. If you get the precision adjust for $50 or whatever, you need to go to my Hapstone link down in the description and get the work sharp stone holder. It's it basically will give you the ability to get 1x4 stones instead of the little stones and get any stones you want. Like you can wind up getting stones like this and other stones instead of you being limited to only their stones. That's the one problem with work sharp stuff. Do you ever do customer sharpening? Yeah,
Dang it, I just said here.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying
No,
anything.
now I deleted it, so you better say it.
What? What?
Answer it.
You want me to answer it?
Yeah, because I deleted it now.
Why would you delete it?
Because you were like answering it. It was just a whole
Okay.
host of emotions.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So, yes, I used to run a sharpening service, but I stopped because I'm just so busy on the channel. Fuck man, I'm always super busy, so I just don't have time. But there is people in what?
He said thank you both.
There's people that that do sharpen in the community that I'm sure someone might even be in here that do a sharpening service that can help you out if you need help. But yeah, I'm not the one to do it anymore because I just don't have the time. I was making good money doing it on the side, and actually I had an abundance of customers. Everything was going great. It's just the channel. It was always full, but it makes it to where it's difficult for me to film. It's difficult for me to edit. It's difficult for me to do the things that run the channel because it's just there's too many. I sometimes do it. I do it for friends and family, obviously.
That was in my answer too. There are so many at one point that are the people who we recommend were like, stop sending me people.
Yeah.
Because they got full. But
yeah, I had 3 different people I was recommending people to.
Yeah.
And all of them, like, you know, most of them are probably still full. They probably have repeat.
At the time I only had 2, but
a lot of times you get repeat customers, so. All right, so our bevels are looking good. This one needs a little bit of work, this side right here. So we're gonna hit it right now. Like I said, I wanna even these all up right now so that they look as good as possible before we go to the next stone. The next stone is going to be, it's gonna refine this edge a little bit. So it's gonna be less gritty, less coarse. The bevels will be set, so the bevels are gonna be sharp right off of this stone. But what we want is, we want a bit more of a finer edge because like I was saying earlier, 3V does really good with a finer grit edge. I'm not gonna go all the way to a polish, which 3V does do good with. Maybe in the future I will on this knife, but I'm at least gonna go to a finer grit stone. Now I'm not, it's a little bit thicker right there. So I need to get this belly a little bit more. There we go. Can I get friends and family discount? I'm like 40 minutes away.
If location gave people the discount in the area,
everybody who'd live down the street.
Millions.
No, they'd all just say, I only live a block from you, bro. I'm going to be mailing from Las Vegas, though.
They're going to conspire, get someone's ad.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, do you remember when there was that guy on Forged in Fire that had like the same name as you?
Yeah, in the same town I grew up in.
Same town, dude. That was so crazy when I saw that.
A guy on Forged in Fire's name was Jared Neve.
Spelled a little different.
It's spelled a little different, but his first name was spelled the same way mine was, which is super weird. I've never met anybody in my life that spells it the way I do. And he happened to live in the city I grew up in, the city I was born in. And I knew exactly where he lived and everything. And he was on Forged in Fire. He got 2nd place. And I'll tell you what, that was the closest competition ever. His 2nd place, it could have went both ways.
I thought it was an error in swinging, honestly, possibly.
No, the whole thing, literally went neck to neck all the way to the end. And at the end, they even said it like, this is, you know.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking of a different episode.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, this is looking great. My bevel's a little bit smaller right here, so we need to even up this belly right here. So the way we're going to do that, just so you know, so like let's say you have this bevel here, right? And let's say the belly right here has a smaller bevel than say on this side, say if this was single-sided. You can either 1, make this side smaller, or 2, you can make this side bigger to match it up. If I want to make it bigger, what I'm going to do is as I'm coming across the stone, when I get to the belly right here where I would lift my elbow to get to the tip, this is a pro trick, so you got to be careful when you do this. You're going to just barely dip your wrist. And it's just like this. Just barely dip it. Because as you're coming across, I'm gonna go like this. Now I'm gonna dip just like that. And that's gonna create a lower angle just right there in the belly. Now I wouldn't recommend that to anybody who's not comfortable with creating a bevel already. First, don't even try that. Just do the elbow trick. If something isn't perfectly even, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. It's not gonna affect anything. It's way, you are gonna criticize it way more than anybody else, so.
Hey, Slayer76, honestly, I don't know anyone off the top of my head, but if you go to Etsy and look at some of the custom scale makers on there and maybe just try to reach out to them directly.
What's he looking for?
I can't think of the one guy's name, but he seems like he makes one-offs though.
Who? What are you talking about?
Custom scales.
There's a lot of guys on
Etsy. He
Etsy.
wants them custom made just for him.
For what? For a folder?
For a Kershaw, what was it? Gosh, I just read it. Kershaw mother tilt. For an original Kershaw tilt.
I'll tell you what, man, it's going to cost you though. Like to get custom made, it's not like it's going to cost as much as scales cost. Because the reason why scales cost what they cost is because they make thousands of them and they sell them for that price. You getting one set custom made is going to be worth 10 times more than that knife is worth.
Somebody said that episode.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure the tilt. Which one is the tilt?
That's an older one.
I know, but I'm saying, is it a collectible one?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, that bevel looks beautiful. This bevel looks beautiful. This bevel looks almost beautiful. And then this one looks almost beautiful. So work on this side. We're going to straighten up this one right now. Then we're moving to the next stone. We're going to refine it. Then we're going to deburr it. And then we're going to move on to something else. We could talk about edge maintenance or whatever. What? The VNEEVE website really sucks. VNEEVE doesn't have a website. I don't think VNEEVE even has a website. They sell their stuff on different places. I would recommend just getting them from either two places. Hapstone, which is links down in the description, or the NEEVESKNIVES store and sharpening supplies. Problem is that they're always sold out, and the reason why is because VNEEVE's in Russia, and wherever they're at in Russia, TSPROF, just for an example, TSPROF is out of Russia too, but TSPROF hasn't had any problems exporting and stuff. VNEEVE has. I don't know if they're in war zone, I don't know, but they're not able to, they're going slower. However, VNEEVE makes the new TSPROF bonded diamond stones. They're fixed angled stones, but I'll tell you what, guys, I got a set. They're fucking amazing. They're really, really, really good.
Apparently it's collectible, the tilt.
Okay.
It's
okay, well, you might not want to fuck it up then, or mess with them. You can always change the scales back, but yeah, I mean, it'll cost you. It'll probably cost you at least a few $100s, if not a couple hundred. It'll at least cost you a couple hundred. Depends on what the materials are, though. Like if you're wanting like koa wood or something, then maybe not. But if you're wanting titanium, it's gonna cost you. Or zirconium or zircotite or something like that, which is what I was kind of picturing, but I guess it could be anything. It could be aluminum, what you want. All right, so our bevel's looking great all the way around. Our tip is a little tiny bit larger on one bevel, but not very much. Like it's super minimal. So I'm gonna hit it on the next stone. So I don't like these boxes really because these things always break. Which one is this? 50/40. Okay, we'll do that one. 50/40 is basically like a 600 grit. So I'm going to start with this side really quick. This side needs just a little bit of refining. It's good, but it's a little large, which I know you're thinking like, well, if you're working on it, aren't you making it larger? Well, no, I'm raising the angle up slightly, cutting in the bevel, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the other side, and while I'm working on the other side, steel's going to be removed from this side, because when I'm working on this side, steel's being removed from this side too. So yeah, there we go. That looks really good. Now I'm gonna work on this side. And if I have to, I'll lower back the edging on the other side. So yes, double-edged daggers can be a little tricky for people because of marrying the edges together and making sure they're nice and even. But they're not bad. You just can't be, I'm very picky, much more pickier than anybody else would be. Most people would not try to make it as perfect as I do. And nobody is perfect. Like even from the factory, they're typically not perfect. This side looks perfect though. This side is damn near. This one's just a little bit bigger. That bevel looks beautiful though. That looks good. Let me just knock that burr back. Knock that burr back. I'm knocking the burr back because it's a metal wire at the edge and it's making it difficult for me to see my scratch pattern perfectly. Okay. Let's work on, let's just work on all the edges. We're just gonna go through each one of them and refine it really quick. From the factory, the majorities aren't perfect. Yes, that's what I mean. Most of them aren't perfect from the factory. Exactly. Actually, that's the reason why is because the blade isn't perfect. Like the edge bevel could possibly be perfect, but if it's thicker in one area more than the other, they might be the same angle, same everything, but they look different because the thickness is different. So that's what really gets you, because so when you go to sharpen it at home, that's what's going to fuck you, is when you go to sharpen it, you might not know what is thicker in different areas. Sometimes you can just tell just by looking at it, but that can be deceiving, where like now all of a sudden it's like there's nothing you can do. Like just like this, like if you sharpen, say a 17-degree edge bevel on a knife from heel to tip, Chris Reeves does this. The tip is much thicker than the rest of the bevel. So now the edge bevel is going to taper up. So it's going to go from smaller, 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 then all of a sudden bigger, 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 all the way up to the tip. A lot of knives are like that. Now, some knives will do that, but then on the other side, it's even thicker or thinner. So you got to watch for that so that you can catch it quickly and then adjust to it so that you're not cutting in a way bigger bevel and that you'll never be able to take back. Or at least it'll take you a fuck ton of time. Buck or Wicked Edge? Well, Buck is a knife company. Wicked Edge is a sharpening company. All right, so which one were we just sharpening? It's hard for me to remember every time. It doesn't matter. We'll go to this side. Pretty sure I was on the opposite side of this. We're almost done with this. Let me lock this. It is locked. One cool thing about this knife though is that this is like one of the safest knives in the world. I know so many people are like, oh, it's the reason why it's illegal in a lot of cities or a lot of places is because it's dangerous to the user, which that is the dumbest thing. This is like one of the safest knives you can use because the lock doesn't take any stress. Like when I'm stabbing it into something, all the pressure is going directly to the titanium. The lock takes no pressure. Now, if the blade snaps or something like that, it's just going to snap. If it fails, it's just going to go in the handle. So, like, it is probably one of the safest knives you can have. And it's fun. But same thing like with OTFs. Like OTFs get a really bad, this is an OTF, but I mean an automatic OTF. They get a bad rap when they shouldn't, because OTFs are awesome, but Hollywood puts them in bad guys' hands that were doing bad things and basically made it where the only people that carry them are bad people wanting to do bad things. So then everybody's perception was, you know, dangerous people carry them. So now they made it where even though they are safer, less dangerous, and like literally like almost nobody ever gets killed with an automatic OTF. It's typically going to be a kitchen knife or something like that. So, but it's just the laws that they make around fear is so crazy, and people try to justify it, but there is no justification. It's just ignorance. They don't understand it. They don't understand it, so they fear it. And when they don't understand it and they fear it, then they make judgments based off of what they think rather than what's true. And what's true is that they are some of the safest knives. Yeah, this side right here is a little different than this side, I'm noticing. Barely. I mean, I can see it, but it doesn't matter. Man, I bought 3 knives from my buddy I grew up with. He owes me 2 more, and it's been close to 4 years now. We're almost done with this guy right here. I'm doing both these sides one more time really quick. Like I said, I just want to refine it. That looks pretty good to heal. Sorry, really quick. I'm almost done with it. Yeah. What? What? You got to resharpen it. You got to correct the bevel by... So, okay, sorry. Improper stropping. Okay, so improper stropping is when you're lifting. So what you're doing is you're coming across the strop and you're lifting the line, which is leading to the apex rounding over. You have to resharpen now. So what you want to do is you just want to put a brand new bevel on it. Now, you can technically hone it, where you take a ceramic rod and you just do single passes per side like this. Very gentle though, no pressure. Honing rod video, that will bring the edge back for right now. You'll be able to either, 1, you can create a micro bevel, which will be very sharp, or 2, you can just refine that apex back to true, but just use very light pressure. Ceramic rod, extremely light pressure at somewhat of a high edge angle, and it'll bring it right back for the time being until you can sharpen it. But you do need a ceramic. Now, you can use the bottom of a ceramic cup as long as it's not glazed. Like I said, no pressure, high angle. Video just got foobar fucked. Is that what that means? I don't know. I gotta fix this bevel. All right, like I said, we're almost done with this. Trying to be a perfectionist will absolutely backfire, and I need to take my own advice right now.
So we'll be a hypocrite. Get it?
Yeah.
Not listening to your own advice.
And I'm gonna hurry up and do this side, flip it, and hurry up and finish the other side and call it. So we can talk about some other stuff. Man. What? As soon as I'm done? Yeah, I'm gonna chit chat for a minute.
No, you're fine. I was just wondering.
Yeah. I started convexing just now. I gotta flatten it back out. So like I said, sometimes, you know, like my hands are getting fatigued. So when your hands start getting fatigued, then you start convexing. That's why, like I said, I'm gonna end it. This, it's pretty good. It's good enough. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a fine grit stone. Actually, you know what? Oh no, let's take, what is this? What is this one? That's a coarse. There we go. This is fine, kind of. 550 grit, 40/28. No, that feels, huh. I guess that feels about the same. I need an ultra. What is this one? Sorry guys, this would be fine. 1500 grit. I'm just removing the burr. So I have a burr basically all the way around. So I'm just doing reverse passes on each edge bevel until the burr pops off. Remember though, we have 4 edges, so we have technically 2 burrs, but the burr's gonna flip back and forth, so we have to do this to every single bevel. So let's work on this side really quick. That burr's, I might have to refine this edge just a little bit more. That burr is not wanting to come off this coarse of a grit. It is kind of coarse though. I think I was wrong about the 600 grit. I was paying attention to the micron. The other one says the grit on it, which is interesting. Brian is just 27. These aren't diamond plates. These are bonded CBN stones. I mean, you could say they're diamond, but they're bonded. So it's CBN, which is very similar to diamond, in a bond of metal. Think of chocolate chip cookies in a cookie. That's basically what the diamonds are in this. Yeah, this burr is being a son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to move to a finer stone really quick. I ain't got a choice. Let me go to the 550 I just seen. Let me do this one. Yeah, this is 550 grit. I'm just gonna refine it a little bit. You know what, maybe I should go even higher. What is this one? Nope, that's really coarse. You know what, we have the 50/4325. Okay, so I guess, yeah, we'll do this one, then that one. All right, we'll do it quick though. I don't want to spend too much more time, but the edge is just too coarse. Like I said, 3V likes a finer edge, and the burr is just not wanting to come off cleanly with that coarse. Now, typically, I like personally to do my burr removals on a fine grit stone. Even if I sharpen like to 600 grit, I'm going to remove my burr on a 3000 grit. I typically like to remove my burr on a 3,000 to 5,000 grit stone, no matter what. And that seems to get me the best burr removals out of any other way. And I've been doing it for a long time, and it just seems to leave the cleanest and best results. But I do edge trailing passes, which is tip to heel, to flip the burr back and forth, and then I do a couple regular passes from heel to tip. Okay, this side now. Yeah, my hand's getting too damn fatigued. I got carpal tunnel, so after I'm on here for too long, my hands will be shot, and it'll be difficult for me to hold my angle good. Right now, I can tell I'm misfiring my angle. So I'm just gonna switch over now to the fine grit and get this damn burr removed. I hate these damn boxes, man. They fucking suck. We'll use this 3K. It's right here, so. Where's the 3K of the new one? Actually. 1500, okay. What is this one? 325. That's a coarse. Did I not get? Maybe I only went up to 1,500. All right, so we're gonna do the 3K then. All right. So like I said, I like to do edge trailing passes first, tip to heel. Another thing with gravity knives, OTFs, they have a little bit of movement. They have to in order to move smoothly. There is a kind that doesn't, but it's like fucking very expensive, like $2,000. So in order to create a perfect bevel, it can be a little difficult without making it a little convex because of that movement. Like it makes it nearly impossible without doing a fixed angled sharpening system. Fuck this. I'm gonna use this guy. We're gonna knock this Burr off right now. This Burr's being pesky as shit. Okay. That should have took it off. Let's see. It's a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, this one was a little frustrating for me. I was not expecting this one to be as frustrating as it is. I don't know if this heat treatment is not that great on this one. I'm thinking that with the way this Burr's coming off, or if it is because my angle started fluctuating at the end there, which could be true too, because I could feel my hands getting fatigued, which is not good. Typically what I'll do is if I'm gonna do that and it is taking a little while, I will just set it down and come back to it later when I'm refreshed, and you should do the same. Don't ever do anything frustrated, sore, fatigued, anything like that. Come at it when you're happy and ready to be relaxed and you know, make it a good session. Okay, that is sharp as shit though. There's a little bit of Burr right there at the heel. I need to get, I can't hit it though. There we go. I might have to grab my diamond plate out. Or sorry, ceramic plate. Let me think. Where do I have? I got one over there. This isn't gonna, oh no, this one will hit. Never mind. There we go. With the Work Sharp field sharpener, I love that thing, but there is one little issue. Sometimes it's difficult to hit the very, very heel if there's something in the way, like on this one. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now let's a couple more passes. All right, let's chest it really quick. I don't know if it'll do paper towel, but it does. But it's yeah, it does. It's just a little toothy, but as expected, right? Paper. Other side. This side. Could be cleaner. Like I said, I'm gonna have to redo it. Like I said, I'm not very happy with it. But it's also mostly in my head. I just, you know, when you start getting fatigued, you know, it's difficult. I see one spot right here is a little bigger. Everything matches really good, but I started messing up right here when on the last stone because I was so fatigued. But this will be an easy cleanup. Once now that it's kind of reprofiled, once my hands are feeling good, I'll be able to jump right on it and destroy it. All right, I'm gonna lift you guys up. We can shoot the shit for a minute and we'll take off. But if you guys got any sharpening questions, fire them off. Fire them off. Let's go. The fuck? Diamond plates don't need lubrication. Yeah, diamond plates don't need lubrication. These are metal bonded CBN. They don't require any lubrication. You can put it on if you want to. Now, resin bonded diamond or hybrid bonded diamond does require soapy water. not just water, soapy water. Diamond plates, where it's just a metal plate with diamonds on the surface, nothing. You don't want to put anything on there, because if you don't dry them off really good, they'll rust, and it just makes it a mess. Like, why use it if it's not going to do anything good for you? So we want to know something funny. The screw countersinking, I asked for them to go deeper, and they didn't. Also, they wouldn't do T8. Matt Christensen. Oh shit, that's Matt Christensen. Okay, he's a knife designer, custom knife maker. What's up, bud? So he says the screw counters. Oh, with the knife, with the video I did. You know, trust me, bro, I completely get it. I understand. Like, I have even things right now that with the knife design that I have coming that was agreed upon, and you know, one thing or another, it just didn't happen, or was lost in communication. I'm not sure. Nothing to the extreme that I'm upset or that I care about. I'm never going to say anything negative against them. Like, they were amazing to work with, speaking about React. But just a couple little details were supposed to be different. But like I said, I understand that happens. I've talked to so many, and I remember trying to just do a choil with some of the companies, like getting them to understand what I wanted with my choil and for the plunge grind and everything was very difficult. I finally got it through, but it's still not perfect the way I wanted it. The size is fine, but the way the plunge grind ended, I wanted it to be straight. I wanted it to not be a tapering plunge, but those things are kind of difficult. But yeah, it is tough sometimes. Things that you'll ask or things that you want, they won't be able to do the way you want, or they just don't. Knives with unique grind tips like the Tanto Umnanzan or the Machine-Wise Sonora are throwing me through a loop. Both hand sharpening and sharpening on a KO3. Any advice there? Knives with unique grind tips like the Tanto Umnanzan. Okay, so what he's talking about is the edge goes from thinner to thicker. That's why that does that. So on the Machine-Wise, right, it has a very small edge bevel, but then as it goes through the belly, it's bigger and bigger and bigger, and it gets to a big tip, right? And I'm talking about the bevel, not the actual tip itself, the size of the bevel. And that is because of the thickness of the tip. Same thing with the Umnanzan. The Umnanzan, the Tanto from Chris Reeves, that's the same way too. But that's just the way they're designed, and that's to add reinforcement behind the tip or at the tip. So there's no problem with it. It's supposed to be that way. So don't beat yourself up over it. That's how it's supposed to be. Your bevel is supposed to go from smaller to bigger. And if you were a little dramatic and it wound up becoming way too big, you can't get anything back. But what you can do is you can raise your angle from here on out, and just every time you sharpen it a little bit higher of an angle, and you will start making it smaller and smaller. Don't do it all at once, because you'll just wind up removing years of steel that you don't need to. So just sharpen it at a higher angle, and you'll be fine. Just let it slowly come off. But yeah, that can stand out to some people, especially because from the factory, if you look at the edge, that's what it does. It goes from thinner to thicker. But because their angles from the factory are like 30 degrees per side or whatever, I don't know, it depends on the factory, but some of them are really high edge angles. So it makes the bevel appear a lot smaller. But once you lower back the edge angle, which you're going to want to do typically because you want a sharper edge, you want one that's going to have more edge retention and easier to maintain and hone and blah, blah, blah. You'll go like from their 30 degrees to your 17, which can make the bevel look massive on some knives. And it might be more dramatic than you think. But it doesn't matter though. You know, it's a knife. Make it sharp. As long as it's sharp. I like a big edge bevels personally for me, so it doesn't bother me, but I know some people it does. When trying to remove the burr, is it better to apply pull or push strokes? So you want to do the first ones, the way I do it is I always do, I can't use that one. I always do edge trailing passes first. So like, let's say my burr is on this side of the knife, right? So I'm going to So this is where the burr would be. I'm not going to do a forward pass because that will just rip my burr off, because the micro serrations are at an angle, right? Because when you sharpen, especially freehand or fixed angle, typically, right, your scratches are going to run at an angle because that's the way you're sharpening, right? Like when I'm sharpening, I'm going like this, right? So my scratches are going that direction, which is also the direction I'm cutting. So think about them as micro serrations. Literally think about a serrated blade right now, and think about like VEF serrations that are angled, not straight up and down, they're angled. Those are aiming at the stone. So now when I go like this to tear off my burr, what's happening? The tips of those serrations are just snagging and gouging into the stone, tearing off. So what I like to do is I go from tip to heel first, very gentle, no pressure with this at all. And if you want, you can even hold a little bit of a higher angle because it's just the apex you're worried about. Because you're not applying no pressure, you're not worried about this affecting your scratch pattern or your edge bevel. It's just gonna snag the burr. That's all you care about. That's why you don't want no pressure, and that's why it's okay to use a little bit of a higher angle. So you wanna do a very gentle edge trailing pass where you go from tip to heel, basically like stropping. Do that 2 or 3 times, go to the other side, same thing. Couple passes, then go back and forth a couple times. When most of it is gone, then go over to the forward passes where you go from heel to tip, and still be gentle though. And what that will do is the first edge trailing passes will take that burr and flip it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then it'll just snap off. And then the only thing left on the edge bevel is the shit that didn't snap off, which you will get when you do the forward motions. Like I said, no pressure though. Burr removal, you want a burr to come off as naturally as possible, because the point and the idea when you sharpen is not to sharpen your edge to a sharp apex. It's to sharpen your edge to a nice apex, developing a burr, accumulating steel at the apex, and having that removed. When you remove the burr, that's when you reveal your sharp edge. So your sharp edge is revealed at the end. It's not just sharpened into a sharp edge. It is, but the burr is the steel that's being removed, and it's accumulating at the tip, which you're gonna have to get off. And when you get that off, the apex, your sharp edge is underneath there. But you can fuck that up, and you can make it to where now maybe you micro bevel it, maybe you tear your burr off and steel, because maybe the burr was hanging on really strong, and when you go to just rip it off, it takes little microscopic teeth with it, and then what happens is now you'll have micro chipping and things like that. Or maybe you'll leave some burr behind, or maybe you'll ruin your scratch pattern that you just, work so hard to get, and now, just a lot of little things. But if you do it very gently, the way I just said, it typically comes out really good. That is good teach right there. Good question, Bruce. Why can I sharpen good going heel to tip, but when I try to do edge trailing to remove burr, I can't do it good? Okay, so don't worry about it, because what you're trying to hold your angle perfect. Stop. Just stop trying to hold your angle perfect, because it doesn't matter. If it mattered, I would say make sure you're holding your angle perfect, but it doesn't matter. What? Yeah, well, but he's not having a problem forward. So, like I said, let's say I sharpen at this angle right here, right? Well, when I go to do my burr removal, right? When I go do my burr removal, I will go a little bit higher, and I will just let the apex hit. Like I said, this is such a gentle pass. It's not going to affect my bevel, because I can literally do it with 2 fingers. That's how little pressure I'm doing. I'm only allowing the burr, like let's say the burr's hung over the edge like that. I'm just allowing the stone to grab it and basically flip it over to the other side. But if you have trouble, that sounds like for burr. If you're trying to sharpen forward and back, just like I said, lock your wrist if you're going to do back and forth, and just make sure you're using your elbow, not your wrist. But that can lead to convex edges if you're going back and forth, which is fine. If you're okay with that, which you should be, because most people's freehand edges are going to be convex until you get really, really good. I can do both V-ground and convex, but it did take me a while. But if you want a perfect convex edge, perfect convex edge. The best way to do it, I'm telling you, is stone in hand. Set the stone in your hand and literally go like this, lock in, and then move both. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna try to move this one first. First, I'm only gonna move this, and I'm gonna try to hold the edge angle. I am not gonna try to convex at all. If you try to convex, just don't even try. Just try to hold the most perfect angle you possibly can. So I'm gonna hold the best angle I possibly can. Now I'm gonna come across. I'm gonna go back and forth. And then once I start getting my groove in, now I'm gonna start moving the stone. I'm not even moving the knife right now. I'm only moving the stone right here. So, but what I can do is I can move both. But because both are moving, for some reason, it just makes the perfect convex edge. It makes it to where it's like the perfect curvature. But like I said, don't try to make the curve. Don't try to convex. It'll just naturally happen. Is it a directional problem or is it a force? It's force. It's absolutely force. Force is like, this is one thing, just like with ceramic rods. Like a lot of people don't understand ceramic rods very well. And like say chefs and butchers and stuff, a lot of them are very stuck on honing steels, which are fucking shit. You should throw them away, get rid of them. They suck. Get a ceramic or a diamond rod. But it's because they don't know how to use it. And the biggest problem people have with this rod is pressure. That's it. It's too much effort is what it is. You think that you have to be like a master, like you have to have this skill or something to use this. You can be a fucking 4-year-old and use this because all you're doing, it's so gentle. Like there's literally no pressure involved. So all you want to do is literally just like this. You can use these ramps right here, which I do recommend. Lay it down, let the edge hit, and then hold that angle, but go across gentle, no pressure. And do that like 2 times per side. So I'm almost done. I'm done, right? That's how easy it is to hone your edge on a ceramic. People are doing 20, 30 passes and they're fucking putting pressure. You're just fucking your edge all up. You want to be very gentle and you want very minimal passes. But yes, pressure has a lot to do with everything when it's sharpening. Now, if you're actually removing steel, then you can add pressure, but you don't want to add so much pressure that you're changing angle. You want to add as much pressure as you can handle while maintaining angle. But everything else, burr removal, stropping, honing, micro beveling, everything else has to do with pressure. Just like this, there's like 5 or 6 different ways you can use a ceramic. Micro beveling, honing, sharpening, which would be a finishing stone. What else? Burr removal. And let's just say there's 5. There's probably more, but let's say there's 5. Every single one of those things, the difference is pressure. That's it. When I'm removing burr, I'm using no pressure. When I'm micro beveling, I'm adding medium pressure. When I'm honing, I'm adding light pressure. Like it's just all pressure. There's almost never a time you're adding a lot of pressure though. Not with a ceramic. Not even with a diamond. And the reason why is because this is another thing you got to understand. When you're touching this, it is a pinpoint spot that's hitting the apex. Because yes, it's a round circle, right? This thing, it's literally like the tip of a needle spot what's hitting the edge. So that, to add force to that, you know, it's kind of like this, right? Like if I put a 10-pound weight on your chest, it would be fine. You'd be like, yeah, whatever. But if I took a 10-pound arrowhead that was sharp and laid it on your chest, now we're gonna have problems, right? It's kind of the same thing with this. When you start adding pressure, you're literally basically chiseling into the edge. So that's why no pressure. It has everything it needs to do its job already. It doesn't need pressure, it just needs you to hold and do the motion. That's it. In the motion, you don't have to worry about edge angle. Just go a tiny bit higher. Whatever your edge bevel is, say if you sharpen to 17 degrees, go 20 degrees. Or that's why typically just get a 20-degree thing and you'll be good pretty much across the board. As long as, because I typically, when I resharpen, I almost never go above 20 degrees, unless if it's like a hard use fixed blade or something. Yeah, you should just be able to use the edge of the stone then. I recently did a recurve using a Sharple 3x8 and a 6x1 finish. Yeah, I've taught that you can in many cases, flip a stone like this and use this part. It's not good to do over and over and over, but you can do it. And you can also use the corner, like this corner, the top of it right here. You can do that with recurves and just literally follow the corner. I've done I actually, before I ever had recurve stones, that's how I sharpen all my recurves for a long time. But I will say this, once you get round stones and little thin, like some of the stones I have, like super thin stones, it does make a big difference. Your edge bevel is a lot more consistent and it is a little bit better. But you know, it's good to get good at all the different ways. Like you said, doing the corner of the stone, absolutely master it, because those are the things that are going to save your life out in the field. Like right now, I could go out anywhere and sharpen a knife pretty much on anything. Like I could pretty much probably pick up a rock. It'd be a motherfucker, but I could do it. The point is that I don't need a full system to set up. I can literally just sit down and start sharpening. But that's only because I've mastered all these little things that, you know, maybe I shouldn't, didn't need to, you know. That just because I didn't have the money. That was the point. I didn't have the money to buy recurve stones. I didn't have the money for rods. You know, so I was literally using what I had at hand. And whatever that was, it was. Once you mess up the finishing angle with a stone or something, is it difficult to get it back to the right angle, especially if you don't know what you're doing? Yes, but this is the thing. What it's about is sticking with whatever angle you're picking. Like, let's say you were sharpening this knife, and this has a very little bevel. Let's say that's a 22.5 degree bevel. And let's say you want to kind of put the same bevel on it. You don't want to make it bigger, you just want the same. So you put it on the stone, and it just so happens to be a little bit bigger. That's fine. Just keep going with it. Don't try to change it now. Just stick with it, because it's not about the angle you pick. It's about the angle you hold. So you can pick any angle as long as you can hold it. So that's why I tell people, when you sharpen a knife, get yourself in a comfortable position that you can repeat, because that's typically you're going to be able to pick it up later and resharpen it and it'll be the same spot. But if it's a little bit bigger, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Just keep holding that angle, because now you're going to replace the old bevel with the new bevel, and you're going to do that anyways. And this is why doesn't matter, because no matter what, even if you're doing the exact identical angle, you are still replacing that bevel with a new one. The difference is if you change the angle, it's just a change. It's just a change of angle, but you're still replacing the bevel. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like you're still going to do the same work. It's just one is going to lead to a little bit of a sharper edge, right? A lower angle with a bigger bevel is going to be a sharper edge, which typically is not a bad thing, but you can overdo it. But for the most part, if you are, what I always tell people is just don't keep questioning yourself. You can, right at the beginning, you can adjust your angle. Like if you go across the stone, you can look at it like that's a little too low or that's a little high. But once you start getting into it, figure out what that angle is that you're going to do and stick with it. Because you trying to change angles, say after 50 passes, and then you're like, oh, I want to change it. Then you do 50 more passes. Now I'm going to change it. Now it's in a fuck. You have to basically reprofile the entire thing. It's going to be a nightmare. So stick to whatever angle it is and just stay there. It might seem like it's taking a long time or something. That's fine. Do it in 2 sessions if you have to. But more importantly, if you're using a very, very, very coarse stone for your first stone, like I like to recommend a Toma 140, even an Toma 400 is pretty aggressive. I basically say between 100 and 300 grit should be your first stone. Your second stone could be 400 to 600 grit, and your third stone 1,000 to 1,500 grit. But the point by saying that is that if you wind up lowering back your angle a little bit, and now it's going to take you a lot longer to do it, well, when you have a 140 grit fucking Atoma, it's going to hog metal off fast. You're going to be able to sharpen really quick, like much faster than otherwise, right? Like this stone that I would spend, say, an hour on, that one I'd spend 15 minutes. Gummy Neeves, Amazon has ultra sharp diamond 3-plate sets with holder. It's awesome, like 120. Yep. Yeah, I linked those in the Neeves Knives store down in the description. The ultra sharps 3x8s I recommend a lot. And 120 is a good deal because typically they're 138. They do offer 2x6s, which are much smaller, but they're still freehand stones for like 62 bucks. And they're the 300, 600, and 1200 grit. Thanks, Todd. Todd's the man. Todd is the man. Why does he cuss a lot in his lives? Why I'm asking is because I'm not allowed to watch someone who cusses. I'll try to not cuss so much. I apologize. I don't cuss in my regular videos, but because they're edited, but I typically don't cuss in them, period, but sometimes I do and I edit it. But in my lives, I just get, like, you're getting me in the videos, but I try to polish it up for an audience, you know, because you do have to do that. You know, you want information to be good, and you want to come off respectful. In a live, I'm just being myself. You're just getting me. Like if me and you were in person, and you'd get this. This is exactly what you would get. If you were sitting right here, you're getting the same guy. So, and I always wanted people to know that. So when we meet up at Blade Show or we go anywhere, you know what to expect. You know, as long as you've been to the lives. And that's why I've been very open about my past and my history and everything, because, you know, I didn't want anything to haunt me in the knife community or to be worried about something. So, does scratch pattern matter that much, or is it just easier to sharpen? Scratch pattern matters big time. Scratch, remember, that's your serrations. So just like, that's like saying, like on a saw blade, does the teeth really matter? Yeah, they matter the most. With your scratch pattern, the how they're set and also the direction matters. Now, straight up and down or at an angle isn't that big of a deal. You just want it to be consistent. But what you don't want is scratches going this way, this way, this way, all like this. You don't want that, because now you don't even have serrations. You have just a jagged, wicked thing. And it's just not going to have edge retention. Your edge retention will just be a lot lower. It'll still be sharp. You know, you'll still be able to cut shit, but it's just your edge retention will go down. It'll get much duller quicker. It'll be way more difficult to hone and strop and everything. When you have your scratch pattern consistently at an angle from heel to tip, and it's the same direction that you cut too, right? So let's go like this. I'm making them big, so this is going to be a nice toothy edge, I guess. So what happens is you're able to strop and hone much easier now, because that's also the same direction. I should fuck that one up. I just cussed. So it's like this, right? This is your teeth. I messed it all up, so just forgive me. Pay attention to these ones. These ones are pretty good. So each scratch leads to a little serration, right? And they're a little more jagged than this under a microscope. It's not perfect like this, right? But this is an idea, because serrations are perfect on a knife, but not when it comes to a sharpened edge bevel. When you look at it under a microscopic level, you know, it is a lot more jagged. But the point is that this is the direction you cut, right? If this was a knife in my hand, that's the direction I cut. When I have this knife in my hand, the scratches are going this way, and that's the direction I cut. When I strop, where's my strop? When I strop, that's the same direction I strop. So the scratches now from the compound, because remember, this is diamonds. So the compound is now scratching the same angle. So now I'm getting the diamonds to go in between each one of my micro serrations and clean them out, straighten them out, flatten them up. And then with edge retention, because that's the direction you're cutting and stuff, it leads to better edge retention. And it also, like I said, the maintenance is a big deal too, because the difference in a knife that doesn't get stropped or honed versus one that does, you can keep an edge going probably 15 times longer than if you don't. So if you maintain your edge, and that means not letting it get dull before you strop and hone. Now, don't strop stupidly, right? Don't cut a piece of paper and then start stropping your edge. I mean, I do that sometimes, but you guys know what I mean. Like, don't go overboard. But if you just got done breaking down a box, don't be afraid to touch it up on a strop really quick. 2-3 passes per side. And then say you cut up a dozen boxes, you know, obviously strop it. Say if stropping's not really doing it too much, put it on the stone very lightly, just a couple passes, and you can even use a flat stone. Literally, I like to use a flat stone. I'll take a flat stone just like this, that's like 3,000 to 5,000 grit, and I will literally, with hardly no pressure, I will just basically hone my edge back. And then I'll go to the strop, and I can keep an edge going for a long time like that, especially on certain steels. But like I said, but the point is that all my scratches are going the same direction. So when I go to do it again, it allows it to replace it or fix it or hone it, tune it, whatever. And it leads to the best results. Just like this, you know, there was a test done, this was a few years ago, on the difference between an aluminum oxide stone and a diamond stone on a super steel. And the difference wound up leading to, I guess you could say 50% more, but basically double the edge retention with just like in a 1-inch section, like cutting cardboard. So double. And that's just one example. Like there's probably some that's even more, like 75% more, you know? So like in one example, it was double. So if one cut 100 feet, the other one cut 200. If one cut 200 feet, the other one cut 400 feet. That's a lot of cutting. Like that's getting double the performance out of your knife as long as you're using the proper abrasive with the stone or with the steel. My neighbors, I bet you they do. That's awesome though. It's not a bad thing to be the sharpener. I mean, everybody needs one. I had a guy earlier, I'm not trying to talk shit about any commenters, but he said something like, why on earth would anybody need a knife? And I was just thrown back, like, what? Like, and I started thinking, I left a comment, and I wasn't trying to be a dick, and I don't think I came off like a dick, but I said, you got to be in a really privileged place to not know why you would need a knife, because that means that other men are doing the cutting that you're supposed to be doing. And that goes for across the board. Who doesn't use a knife in the kitchen, right? All your meat that you buy from the butcher or buy from your deli or whatever, you know what that was? That was fucking cut, right? That was all cut up. Sorry. That was all cut up. Packages, mail, factories and stuff, right? Those guys, like when I worked at the distillery, I was breaking down boxes and cutting straps all day. You can go watch, I did a video, the day in the life of a knife, where you see, and I was using my knife all day. But that is common. Like there's guys right now on the other side of the planet with a big hawkbill blade cutting trees right now. Blades are used for literally everything. We can't survive without them.
Like the first thing invented, right?
It's not only, it's the second tool ever invented, right? First one, hammer. Second is knife. And out of a stone though. And since the beginning of time, through every generation, all we've done is made our knives out of the best materials on the planet that we had at the time. So whatever was the best thing that we had on the planet at that time, that's what we used. And that goes from the beginning of history all the way until now. We still do the same thing. And even with rockets to the moon and fucking iPhones, we could survive without them. But guess what? You still can't survive without a knife. Stuck seatbelt, cut it. So obsidian, I personally I want to give it a bad rap. So I want to change the perception of obsidian. Obsidian is shit. That's what I think. It's crap. Obsidian. So here's the thing. Is obsidian very sharp? Yes. In very, very small flakes. Yes. Anything big that's going to do any sort of damage at all, like a blade size or anything, you have to make them so thick, and then the edges are just jagged serrations, and they don't really cut that good. Like, think about this. Think about taking an obsidian knife this long and cutting a steak versus using a chef knife. No comparison. A chef knife will win 10 out of 10 times through every single thing you cut. Doesn't matter what it is, it'll win. And they're so brittle that they're not practical. It worked in its time. It was the best thing at that time. But then the second the Bronze Age came in, that shit was gone, obsolete. So people like to say that because yes, it is extremely sharp in tiny little flakes that you can never barely use. Like, yeah, you could take a little flake, I guess, and skin a squirrel or something, but you can't really do much with that. Like, you're not fucking building houses and breaking down cardboard with a flake. Jared for president. I blink funny. You're paying attention to my blinking? I seen somebody the other day. I was watching, I forget who it was, but they were blinking so much. I even kept saying, I said, why are they blinking so much? It's driving me crazy. Yeah, but it was just so many in a row.
No, I'm saying that's a sign of lying or dishonesty.
No, he wasn't doing that. He was just talking. Yeah. Obsidian good for arrowheads? I don't think so. Not as good as an arrowhead, a metal arrowhead. Like we
didn't have metal when we started making arrowheads.
I know, but we do now.
Well,
we're asking if it's good. We're asking, is obsidian good for arrowheads? Not when you consider what's actually good for arrowheads. Can you make an arrowhead out of it? Yeah, and it'll work well. But a double or triple edged, hunting arrow or hunting, arrowhead is gonna be like 100 times better in every way. Are 140 grit atomas too aggressive for sharpening factory edge? No, that's what I like to use. The thing is, two things. One, when you first get it, it is much more aggressive than 140. It's like a 50 grit. It'll break into a 140. So it's gonna break in after probably a dozen sharpenings or so, it'll break into a 140. So just think of that. If you're gonna start, just grab the 400 and use that if you're worried, right? I would say break the stone in a little bit on some knives that you might not, don't use your $1,000 knife on it the first time, right? But it will break in pretty quick and you'll get used to it. But when you first drag it across the stone, it's gonna be so aggressive, it's gonna scare you. But that will quickly go away. Like literally in the middle of the sharpening, it'll be, done. But after like a dozen or so, then it's gonna be like a 140. But the 140 though, it cuts really fast, cuts really well. I think it's the best one to start with, but you never can finish on that. That is not a finishing stone. That is way too aggressive for any steel and any edge. You have to at least get to 400 grit or over. 400 grit is that's a good toothy edge. There's nothing wrong with a 400 grit edge. 400 and up is what you want to get to. 300 on certain steels is okay, but the majority, it's going to be a little coarse too. I got money burning a hole in my pocket waiting on your knife to drop. Dukes of Hazzard with the 5 bones. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Very soon, man. Very soon. Like I said, and we'll be having in about 2 weeks. And right when we get them, the countdown will start. It just means it will sharpen faster. Yes, it will sharpen faster. Yes. What's your thoughts on MagnaCut? I love MagnaCut. It just has to be heat treated well. 63 to 64 HRC seems to be the best HRC, but also aside from that, the way it's heat treated, is a big factor. And just like with any steel, if it's not properly heat treated, it's not going to be as good. But MagnaCut seems to not, it loses a massive amount of edge retention at a low HRC. And number 2, it doesn't get as sharp. And the edges are nowhere near as good. Like the difference between like me sharpening one at 64 HRC versus 60 HRC, there's like, it's night and day difference. Like you would almost think like this is a completely different steel because just the way the burr comes off, the fucking bite the edge has. Damn it. But yeah, it's good. Dukes of Hazzard with the 2 bones. How many are you gonna have? 400, 100 of each color. 100 of each color, 400 altogether. Yeah. I imagine Obsidian got the concept across to our ancestors. They moved on to better material. When I was a child, I got cut by it. Ta-da! Concept. Yeah, it's from our ancestors. Just like with anything, like I said, we were using the best thing at the time. And at the time when Obsidian was the #1 thing, it was badass first time. But the second something else came in, that shit's obsolete. That's the way everything goes, especially with knives, because we tend to make knives out of the best. And there's a reason why, but I think that that's what's also why it's in our DNA, and a lot of us, why we appreciate and we're attracted to knives. It's because of, you know, our history with them, right? Like, we have to imagine that every single one of our ancestors in here probably fought and died in a battle with a blade at some point, right? I seen this thing one time, and I'm not sure if it's true, so this could be bullshit, but this thing was saying that they did a study on the differences between men that can grow a beard and men that can't. This isn't talking about age, saying, you know, when you're in your older years, you know, say 25 and up, right? If you can grow a beard or not. Obviously, the older you get, the better your beard gets. But if you have the ability to grow a beard, then that probably meant that your ancestors fought in battle. And the reason why they were saying was because your chin it's 50% more likely that your jaw will break without a beard if you get hit in the face with the weapons they were using. So basically, all the men typically on the battlefield had big beards for that reason. I'm not sure how true that is. But anyways, my point by talking about the ancestors is just that we were passing down knives as like lineage, you know, like as like an honorable thing. Like, you pass it down to your child, and you know, if somebody did a great favor for you, or if, you know, say somebody new was coming in, you'd gift them a knife or gift them a sword. You know, this was a special thing, and it was an honorable thing, and it was admirable. And then you could also tell a lot about a man by the knife he was carrying. Like, if you seen one guy carrying, you know, what would have been a piece of shit at the time versus another guy carrying something that was like jewelry, you knew where he stood in the hierarchy. So, you know, and also the type of sword or knife they were carrying, whether or not it was for battle or not, right? The difference between, you know, one that you're going to be cooking with or chopping down trees with, and one you're going to be fighting with, right? You knew what type of caliber of guy this is. So I think because it's in our DNA, I think it'll forever live in us. I think we'll forever be attracted to it. I think it would take a crazy amount of time for us to get away from not being attracted to knives for that reason. And we still use them today. Like, it's still a special thing today. But, you know, you got to think our survival relies on it now and throughout all of history. Like, our survival relies on it. We don't survive. You can't survive without knives. If knives go away, we all die. It's just the way it is. You're not going to be able to hunt. You're not going to be able to fish. You're not going to be able to cut them. You're not going to be able to do anything. Weak. Can I send mine back? Horrid lock stick. I like the American Blade Works. I love the American Blade Works. I've always liked pocket knives. Hammers were cool, but knives go deeper. That's true. Hammers are badass, though. Hammers are badass, though, and you can build houses with them. Good to have both. How often does your website restock? Was just looking. So we are not going. So we were restocking in the beginning because we were waiting for our knife designs. From now on, we're going to have our own knife designs on there. So it's going to be my designs, the knives I design, and then sharpening supplies that I can get wholesale and then resell. So we got a tome plates on there. I think we just sold out of them. We'll have them back in like a week. We have some stroppy stuff, which is my favorite stropping compound. I try to get my favorites. Whatever my favorites are is what I try to put on there. But the knives, in 2 weeks, we will have the misdemeanor. The misdemeanor will be up there in about 2 weeks. Well, about 3 weeks, because, you know, I got to do some quality control checks. And then this one will be available pretty soon. They're about to run it in production. I'm picking colors right now. I got some pretty cool color combinations. I did a poll if you guys want to check out the poll. It's in the community post. We got a Rebel, been a member for 2 months, man. Thank you. With the Benchmade, looking for a new premium slip joint. Well, I'll tell you what. 2 things. One, you can't go wrong with the Jack Wolf. Absolutely can't go wrong with Jack Wolf. Jack Wolves are fucking amazing. The geometry, the everything. I would recommend the Midnight Jack. What the hell was the one with the Warncliffe? Damn it, it's my favorite one. I can't even think of it. Any of them, though. any one of them. But just make sure the blade's sticking out a little bit so you can get a great pull. Now, another one that's dropping in on Tuesday is right here. I showed it the other day. I probably shouldn't show it to you, but it's dropping on Tuesday. I'll have a video out on Tuesday. It's USA made, if that matters to you. So that's a premium one, Magna Cut steel, 6364 HRC, titanium handle with a cross-cut micarta inlay on the show side. And that will be it. The Venom. Thank you, Rebel. Yeah, the Venom Jack I would recommend, or the Midnight, or any of them though. Even the gun, I mean, the Gunslinger is a locking one, but then the Sharpshooter is a slip joint. That's a really good one. All of them are good. He doesn't really make a bad one, so. Did you pick up the Fireball? I did not. I got the, what's the name of that other Devo knife? I didn't get the Fireball. No, I did not. I should have, man. I kind of feel bad that I didn't. Because that's my boy. But it was a great knife though, man. It was an awesome knife. We have so much money invested in, you know, these knives right now. Because remember, we didn't do a pre-order, and I didn't even cover it all. My partner covered most of it, but we have so many expenses on so many other things going on right now that it's difficult to buy knives right now. The Tall Boy, yes, I got the Tall Boy. They sent that to me, and that fucking thing's amazing. I would have bought that one. Hey, Jared, what kind of edge do you prefer on Van Axe? So I go more medium grit. So you would think that steel would do really well with a polished edge because the makeup, and not even the makeup, the balance of the toughness and edge retention is exactly what you want to see for a polished edge performing steel. But I think it's just the high amounts of chromium or whatever that's in it that makes the corrosion resistance just doesn't do well. So it tends to do better with a medium grit. Fine edges, it doesn't hold it really well. You can do it. It'll take a good polished edge. It'll be sharp as shit, but when you start using it, the bite will go away pretty quick. Been saving for the Bionic Jack. That's a badass one too. The Bionic Jack is great. I love it. I absolutely love that one. Love my Tall Boy as well. It's hard to get anything I want in Canada, and when I do find something, it is way overpriced. Yeah, well, guess what, Cody? You might be in luck. We're going to be giving away a TSPROF, and we're only opening it up to the USA and Canada. And we're going to be doing that in a couple days. So watch for that video. That's about $1,000 worth of about $1,000 sharpening system and extras. It even comes, I even sent you some custom parts for it, whoever wins it, and a convex thing attachment. So you can do convex edges, perfect convex edges. Wow, I could use a TSPROF. Well, just enter the giveaway. Enter the giveaway. It'll be a couple days. In a couple days, you can enter, and then I'll pull it a few days after. Can I use different? Yes, you can use different brand stones. So I personally say you want to get diamonds for your first couple stones. And I say that because it just cuts faster. They work faster. Do you have to? No, you don't have to. You can use any stones you want as long as it's appropriate for that steel. Chef knives, I think chef knives are great on whetstones, but anything else other than chef knives, I typically will just use diamonds on anything else other than chef knives. And chef knives I'll still use on diamonds, but I say get a coarse and a medium diamond, and then you can get a ceramic after that. You can get whatever stone you want after that, as long as it's not super steel. If you are sharpening super steels, high carbide steels, you need to use diamond. Now you could technically, like if you use diamond all the way up to like your, you know, your finishing stone, you could probably finish on something else, because in that case, it's not cutting the carbides, it's just polishing the surface. But you know, you might as well just use a bonded diamond at that point, because that's what will give you the best polished edge, if you care about that. Picked up a new Kershaw knockout from your old video. Really? Are they even you can still get them? No. You must have got it on the secondary market. 2 bones from Dukes of Hazzard, man. I appreciate you. Man, the Kershaw knockout, man, that's a great knife. I can't believe they discontinued it. Can you sharpen? What? Oh, Sharpens best. I did a video on a knockoff version of his. It's the exact same thing. But I do have his, and I was gonna do. I don't want to drag the guy too much because I know he got a lot of shit after the one video that I did, but everybody's like, people that are arguing for him, people that come in the comments and debate me on shit, make me want to do the controlled edge retention test, because I did buy his thing. I got it on purpose to use, to test and to do an edge retention test. So what I was going to do is take my edge that I sharpen properly versus his edge that's sharpened like shit, and I do it as good as it can do it, and then I do an edge retention test to see how long will it even cut for? And will it cut and I'm talking about on the same exact knife, same steel, same everything. So there's, you'll be able to see the difference. That would be a badass video, but I know, it would, not that it matters, but it would definitely put a lot of steam his way. I have a thick mini cleaver fixed blade Damascus that won't sharpen up. It's probably poor heat treatment. It's probably soft. That's typically the issue. Like, if you know how to sharpen, you can sharpen a knife, and you're having issues with any particular steel, like especially if it feels like you just not cutting, like it doesn't feel like the bevel's cutting in, that is almost always soft steel, because it's almost like you're pushing the steel more than cutting. And that's why I always give I always tell people, like, the difference between like a soft steel and a hard steel is like sharpening a crayon versus a stick, right? In some cases, a crayon might be faster to sharpen because it's softer, but the end results are shitty. And it's not even nowhere near as enjoyable as, say, sharpening a stick. It'll be a lot sharper from a stick. What HRC are they hitting on your K390? 63 plus for the non-coated, 62 for the coated, because the DLC, no matter what, drops it down 1 HRC. The only way I could have got it higher, I wanted it 65, but the only way I could get that was if I was willing to pay for like a 20% increase and more than that. Like, that was just 20% increase in loss of material from problems, and then also more money for the extra tooling and belts and everything else. So yes, we could do it, but then I couldn't get it at the price I wanted to give to you guys, because I promised that I was going to try to give you guys the most high performance knife possible at the lowest amount of money, which is around $300. The DLC is going to be like $315, and the other one's going to be like $299 or something. So right around $300. But to do that, it's tough. K390, DLC, super deep hollow grind, using Riet, but here's the thing. The geometry should make up for any loss in edge retention from the HRC. Now, the HRC isn't like soft or anything like that. 63 is hard as a motherfucker. But my point is that with thin geometry the way it is, it might even be a little bit better that it's like that, because, this tip is so thin, like it's like a needle. But the edge just lasts for a long time because it's so thin. Because remember, the number one thing for cutting performance and edge retention is geometry. The next thing is the steel and the heat treatment. Well, the next thing is heat treatment and then steel. So the geometry makes up for anything. I mean, this thing is a dream to sharpen. It sharpens up really quick, gets incredibly sharp, and it blazes through anything. It's a fucking laser beam. Like, a lot of people have never even cut with a knife that cuts like this. This is an absolute destroyer. Do we have a date on the misdemeanor? It'll be here in about 2 weeks, and then I will start the countdown on the site. There will be a literal countdown on the site. Dude, that's just fine. 63. Oh yeah, 63 is great. I'm not worried about that. I just know some people look at Spyderco 64, 65, and they're like, it could be higher. And yeah, it could. I wish it would have been, but I couldn't risk it because of, like I said, they weren't comfortable doing it. And I also, there's another thing. Just like another company I'm working with, right? They had a couple other steels I could have chose, but the steels that I was trying to choose, they couldn't do the HRC I wanted. So I was like, well, I don't want to just pick a steel and have a soft HRC just to have the steel name. So I said, okay, just do what you guys are comfortable with, which was 20 CV, right? And I know that they still do it well. They do a good job with it because they're used to doing it. This is what they know. This is how they do it, and they're confident in their ability to do it the way they do it, and it does actually does perform well in the cut tests and everything. Now, if you ask that same company to step out of their wheelhouse and then do something on a steel, and they're like, yeah, we can do it, but there's going to be some issues, right? When you hear that, right, you're like, yeah, we'll do it, but you know, you're going to have to cover the issues. Well, you know that there's, on a balance of probabilities, you might get some lemons because they, you know, they're not, because it takes trial and error, you know. And, you know, some steels, some companies haven't done a million times, like, because there are some exotic steels out there, like K390. Not every what other companies are using K390 besides Spyderco? None, really. I mean, a couple custom knife makers. Thank you, Todd. Buck or outdoor edge? Oof, I don't know. Buck, maybe? Yeah, Buck's tough, man, because I love Buck to always have a place in my heart. Grew up with them. Still have some. I love Buck, but I wish that they would step into 2024. They're lagging. What's the reason why the all black DLC variants is the only one with a fine hollow grind versus the others? So that's the way I wanted it. I wanted a deep satin on all of them is what I wanted, but the people were asking for a polished DLC on the all DLC one, so I said, okay, we'll try doing that, and that was the closest thing I could get to that was a super fine satin. But the thing that was wrong with that, one of the problems, not that it's a problem, but one of the things that I wanted, but it didn't wind up coming true, was the clip and hardware on that exact knife was supposed to be polished. So it's supposed to be polished DLC clip, polished DLC hardware, and backspacer, and then they want to be blasted. So it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it now, but that is something I really, really wish they would. Even the scales, I would love to see those polished, but it is what it is. 63 is so cake. This race to the top is ego. Mass production. It's a hard. Yeah. Mass production. You can't even expect them. I used to give a lot more shit than I do now. I know companies on mass produce levels. It's just impossible. It's not possible. This is the thing. It is possible, but not at the price, right? It's possible for the money that or it's not possible for the money that they're charging. You know, if you're wanting, say, a $250 knife to have this superior HRC, you know, they've already got it marked at the price they have it for their loss of materials, their problems, their tooling, their work, the hours, this and that. When you start turning it up, everything goes up. So you're not going to get it for what you want. And then people are going to be like, oh, that's overpriced garbage. DLC makes more sense on a softer steel. K390 isn't the most corrosion resistant steel. That's why it's on it. But there's satin versions. You don't have to get the DLC one. But I love DLC on any steel, especially on K390. And I've never even seen it on K390, and I already fucking love it. Never even seen it on there besides mine. I have always used a toothy edge on Rex. Yeah, you want a toothy edge on Rex. Rex's carbide volume is just way too high and their toughness is way. So one indicator, just so you guys know, if you're wondering toothy or polished, now this is not a stretch across the board, but 90% or 80% of steels, if they have a 5 out of 10 toughness, between 4 and 5 and higher in toughness, so 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 toughness, 8, you know, and so on, and have a decent edge retention. Doesn't have to have a high edge retention, but a decent edge retention. They typically will lead to a great polished edge. If it has a low amount of toughness, typically the polished edge ain't gonna work. And now it will take an incredibly polished edge in most cases. It's their ability to hold it. It just doesn't have the stability from the toughness on the apex, and the apex winds up being brittle. And the thinner it is, you know, and the more it's polished, the more refined it is. It doesn't do well. But there are some exceptions. But yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Like the steels that I can think of that take the most ridiculous sharp edges all have a decent amount of toughness, a good amount of edge retention, and they kind of balance each other out. And they just, for some reason, that leads to really good edge stability when you're refining the edge. I wish more fixed blades were SK5. You can beat the shit out of that stuff. Cheap and sharpens well. Doug Ritter Ho, the manual or the automatic. I like the manual. I got my first auto, the ProTech TR3. I just got the manual TR3. It's right here. Check this out. One. I'll show you both of them though. Smacks. Yeah, you want to see one that smacks? So this one is the manual, right? But yes, you're right. ProTechs, they do smack. I'm going to pull this one out. This one's the hardest hitting automatic I've ever seen in my life. But this is awesome. Button lock. Very, very smooth. Great detent for a button lock. This guy, this is a smacker right here. Strongest automatic I've ever felt. By far. No, not even a little bit of comparison. I think you hand it to somebody, it's like it could just fly right out of their hand. If they're, you gotta tell them, hang on to that fucking thing. You hear that? I almost want to like put a marble in front of it and bang, watch it fly across the room. Cause it hits. What can I stand up? We'll just. I don't want to hurt my blade, but that sucker's strong. And it locks up every time, and it's like it's rock solid. This is a great knife, the Bob Terzola ATCF by ProTech. This is the Blade HQ exclusive. I'm not sure if there's any available right now. I think they are coming back, or maybe they are. I'm not sure. It's an expensive knife, though. It's USA made, though. All ProTechs are USA made. They're very good quality USA made knives. So with any time you're buying any USA made product, you're going to have to pay for it. And then also, if you're wanting quality USA made, you're going to have to pay for it, which I have no problem with because I want USA to do what they've always done and make quality shit. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do about 3 more minutes. So any more questions or anything you guys want to talk about, shoot it out now. Finally caught you live. So I'm sure you said it, but when are your bangers coming out? 2 weeks, I will have them, and then the countdown will start on the Neve Knife Co. site. So there'll be a countdown. I'll do an announcement as soon as they show up. Only problem with most carbon steels like SK5, 1084, etc. is the edge holding ability. Yeah, that does suck. It has very low edge retention. I'd rather have 14C too. So I love 14C, Nitro V, crew wear. And if you're talking about for budget steels, yeah, I would say just go 14C. That's a super tough steel, holds a decent edge, and it takes an incredibly sharp edge.
CPM 154.
CPM 154 is not like, it's not a super tough steel. So 154, it's tougher than 154 CM because it's a powdered vert.
Is really well done CPM 154 better than poorly done 14C?
Well, it's better than it either way because,
you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, so 154 CM has more edge retention than 14C, but 14C has way more toughness. Hey, Brad Lennox, just get the 10 Neves Knives membership. Shout out to you guys. Any new members, go.
That's a lot.
Just so you guys know. Yeah, dude, thank you so much, man. It's a great donation. I appreciate it. Anybody who just became a member, I just posted a giveaway entry video for the members, literally before this thing went up, or before we went live. So if you want to possibly win a knife, you can join, but you need to make sure you're still a member when I pull them. And I typically pull them within a couple weeks. Better maintain it. Better maintain the shit. Offender dropping when? The Offender is about a month and a half out. It's in production right now.
You name it the Offender?
Would you rather be shot with a gun or stabbed with a knife? Shot.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'd way rather be shot.
You know how bad
I've been
it hurts?
stabbed many times.
Yeah, but like I'm assuming they mean like a near fate, like a bad stab wound. I'm just.
I know. I'm thinking, and I've had some bad stab wounds,
If the
but I'm
gunshot
thinking,
was clean through, maybe. But like, if it was gonna be anything lodged in me, burning metal, burning hot fucking metal, lodged inside my body, no, thank you.
okay, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, stabs are just way more personal, way more slower, way more brutal. A bullet is going very fast, very rapid. I'm not saying both of them are fucked up. And yeah, there is some questions, right? Like, well, is the blade only 2 inches and the bullet is a 50 cal? Like, there's some big differences there, right? But let's say they're both, let's say it's a 9mm versus an 8-inch dagger, right? I'll take that fucking 9mm all day.
But
I'll tell you right where to shoot me, though.
Yeah, honestly.
As long as I get to pick where I'm getting shot.
If I would take the 50 cal because then it just lights out. You feel no pain.
Yeah, but compared to like say if it was a 22 or something in the thigh, or you know, like pain. There's a lot of places you could be shot and you're okay. Just like there's a lot of places you could be stabbed and you'll be okay. Well, but there's also
you're gonna bleed for 10 years according to.
You will bleed the most. You will bleed the most blood. That is for sure. And I know because I cut my ear the other day.
Yeah. I have a matching scar with Trump. I also have a hole in my ear.
But yeah, with stabbing, man, I know gunshots probably do a lot of damage to nerves and stuff like that. But man,
they probably do a lot of damage to internal organs, I bet.
Yeah, they bounce too. But with knives, check this out, guys. There's a company out of Chicago here that makes bulletproof vests, and they're supposedly stab proof, right? Stab proof, not cut, stab proof. And so I contacted them and said,
I want to put this.
I'll be the judge of that.
My wife will be the judge of that. I'm gonna put it on her and stab her.
So we're gonna shoot and stab Kara. They're sending me a bulletproof vest right now. I'm gonna wear it around for a couple days, let them know how I think about it, and then me and him are gonna team up and we're gonna go to somewhere that we can rent out for a day, or like a range or something, and empty it out. It'll be just us, and then we will put a lot of shit to that thing. A bunch of knives, swords, stab it, slash it, chop it. You can come. Do you like SharpWorks Pro system? Which one was it? Oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say it's training wheels, but I mean, if you're not ever gonna plan on doing your own freehand, then just get the best one he has. Then though, don't get the lower one. I'd say no, don't go for that one. Go for the higher one.
Are they expensive though for what it is?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, everything's expensive now, but
what it is,
I would say that.
Are you better off taking the same money and putting it somewhere?
No, what I would say is the best thing you could do is just do this. Get yourself this exact box right there. This has all the angles you're ever gonna want. And you just set them on the stone, just like that. And then you sharpen like this. So you just rest it and let it slide down. Once it hits the stone, that's your angle. Hold that angle, and then all you do is lift your elbow, and you can repeat your elbow, and you can repeat it every time very easily without fail. And it does work really, really well, like really well. So the angles, now I'm not saying the angles are always perfect, because, well, the angles are perfect, but your thickness of your blade, the height of the blade, all that stuff does change a little bit, but you're at least repeating the same exact angle. Dukes of Hazzard with another 5 bones, man. Thank you, man. You're awesome, man. I'm looking for a pair of 3 secondary market is fine. Which one? Ooh, you want the pair of 3? The the Maximet one is way more expensive than the other ones, but that one's really good if you're okay with Maximet. If you're not okay with Maximet, I would just look for man, I mean, I love K390, but I don't think they have one in K390, so I would go with Crewwear. If they got a Crewwear one, if you can get a Crewwear one, go with Crewwear. Crewwear is like one of my favorite steels. K390 and Crewwear are my favorites, and Rex 45. What?
Don't they do
A 20 CV one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure all the ones they do now.
I heard that they do that really well though. Like really, really well.
No way. That's flipping genius. What is it? Where you get from?
Amazon. Your angle thing.
Oh, yeah, this is from, it's at the store, Neeves Knife Store. The link's in their description. Just go into the description. Everything from this video is all down there. I try to link everything. What?
Tell them there's also ones for ceramic rods.
Yeah, there's also these ones right here. The ceramic rod ones. So, and you have all different ones. Just go to the Neeves, not Neeves Knife Co. Neeves Knife Store and Sharpening Supplies right there. Todd just linked it. Bang. So I have a whole sharpening thing in there. You can find all kinds of shit. Neeves, Amazon has blue angles for like $8. So
yeah, that's
these ones are the wide ones. So those blue ones, I've had them. They're smaller. They're like this thin. You want the wider ones because the wider ones can do small knives and big knives.
And they double as a toy skateboard ramp.
Yes.
Tech deck.
Dude, I'm telling you, it works great. Like I sometimes fucking break them out. I don't even need to, and I like to break them out. I'm serious. Like there's a lot of times like I bust them out because I'm just like, man, I don't even fucking feel like thinking about holding an angle, and I get a perfect edge every time. Sometimes an even better edge than what I do freehand.
It's still freehand, isn't it?
It is freehand still, but I mean without an angle start, because repeating the angle is the most important part. That is the most challenging thing for everybody. It's not even holding the angle, it's repeating the angle. So everybody always thinks it's about like the hardest part is holding their angle. No, it's repeating the same angle because it's very difficult to keep your hand like this, lift it up and put it right back down in the exact same angle every time. Like it's gonna slightly move just a little tiny bit. What's up?
You should say the word repeating again.
Repeating. I just feel like stabbing would be worse. Yeah, I think it's more personal. And I think also like if it's slow,
Slow, that's terrifying.
you know, it depends on where too, you know, but I think stabbing just, you know, it just sounds more gruesome. It feels more gruesome. It's slower. It's no matter what, you're going to have to watch it. Like if you get shot, you could be shot and not even know the bullet was coming.
But you're going to take a big impact too, though.
You're going to take, but I'm saying though, the point is though, is that you're not watching it come. Like right now, if you had the choice this week, you're going to be shot randomly out of nowhere. You'll never even know where the bullet came from and it'll be in the thigh and you'll survive. Or I get to fucking come up to you in the dark alley and walk up to you and hold you down and slowly jab a fucking knife through your leg or something. Sounds worse. Is Dragons better than Phoenix? Yes, Dragons are they're thicker bond. The Phoenix have 1 millimeter thickness and the Dragons are 3. I was stabbed in 2001 in Memphis and shot in 1998 in the military. I'd rather be shot. Bang!
Well, you heard it there?
You heard it there. Yeah, never been shot. Well, I got shot in the eye by a potato cannon and I shattered my face. But besides that, I haven't been shot. I did shoot my brother when we were younger. But I've been stabbed quite a bit. I even fucking the time when I stepped on that knife, that shit went right through my.
Yeah,
that was pretty bad.
That counts as a stab.
Yeah, but it's also it's kind of a slice because I stepped on it like this and went all the way through.
It just went straight in. It's like those Halloween.
I know, but it didn't go straight in from the tip. It went straight in from the edge.
I know, but it's like those Halloween costumes where they take the machete and they right into your head.
Yeah.
It's like clinked into your head. That's like how it happened.
Chap, welcome to the Benchmade, sir. Appreciate the support.
It was like you got stabbed side by side by like 7 1-inch long knives. You know what I mean? Like it's like you stood on the tip of like 8 McBees.
Yeah. Oh, it sucked, man. The worst part was going to the hospital.
The shots were bigger stabs, probably.
I'll tell you what, though. That was okay. So the actual stab to my foot was nothing compared to being stabbed in the hand. The hand was by far worse. Getting stabbed in the thigh was like nothing. Like it didn't even fucking matter. aside from it being so bloody and big. But in the hand, the nerve damage you get, I got stabbed right here in the hand. I got stabbed twice here, and I've also stabbed here. But the palm right here, I still have nerve damage. I can't even feel the tip of my finger. I can bite it off. I don't feel it. Just like I had nerve damage in my face my whole life. I basically just started getting back. Like I still have nerve damage in a few places from when I got shot in the eye. But somebody was asking, I realize there's a small difference between M4 and Rex 45, but as someone who's had both, what's the difference in properties of the two? Thanks, Jared. So M4, you're going to want to do a toothy edge on. M4 has a ridiculous amount of edge retention. It's a great steel. Rex 45 loves a polished edge. It does really, really well with a polished edge. Even though it has a high amount of edge retention, its balance of edge retention and toughness just fucking works for it. The M4, I think it's the high carbides that lower it down a little bit for that reason. But M4 tends to do great with a toothy edge. 400 to 600 is what I like, but you can go all the way up to 1,000 grit. And then Rex likes anything medium grit. So I'd say 600 grit and up, all the way up to 5, 6, 7,000 grit. Rex 45 is amazing. I personally love both. I love Rex 45 more though. And I'll be honest though, speaking about the 4s, 4V, I like even more than M4 because of that reason. 4V, like Rex 45, takes some of the sharpest edges I've ever experienced. 4V, heat treated well at a decent HRC, gets nightmarishly sharp. Like there's like a handful of steels that just get the most insane amount of sharp. Like it's almost like they're beyond what other steels can get to. And on a microscopic level, like you just touch it and you're like, whoa, there's something different about this. Like you could just feel it, and like just touching a hair to it. I had somebody fucking say that I was heating my edge up when I was whittling a hair because they said it melted. Because it looked like it was melting because the thing was so sharp, it just went through it like butter. And they thought it was melting the hair. They actually accused me of heating up the knife. That's hilarious. I was grabbed for 20 bucks in Memphis at a truck stop. I've carried a gun since. Probably the best thing to do. I just got denied my gun rights again. Well, to get them back. Kaiser, so I did have a good experience with Kaiser's 4V actually. Now I will say this. I can't say that for their other super steels. Their other super steels, I would say no. They do mediocre at best, but it might have been just my 4V. I don't know, but the one 4V I tested did fucking amazing. But that was one example out of many. I have a bunch more, but I didn't test them. The one I did test did really, really well. Same thing with their 3V. Maybe they're just good with the Vs, except for 10V. 10V was on the softer side, but their 3V did really good as well. But like their LMAX, their 20CV, their 10V, like a lot of their other steels, they just, they're not the best. So you may have covered it. Whatever happened with the sharpening stones you were testing? Any winners that will take the throne? I gotta wait. So I'm waiting. So we just got the new ones in today, or well, the other day. We were testing these in this video. These are the new PDT stones. So these are available on USA Market. So I'm waiting for the hybrid bonded CBN stones to come in 3x8s. So I've been testing them. Right now, my favorite is the hybrids. Now, to be honest, TSPROF has new stones that are bonded diamond stones that I'm sure are made at Veneve. Without a doubt, they're made at Veneve. And they're fucking amazing. Veneves are very hard to get right now, but if you go through TSPROF, you can get them for fixed angle sharpening, but you can't get them for 3x8. So that's only for this size stone. That's it. Those are amazing. Now, these ones, the hybrids are really good, and the metal bonded, I do like the metal bonded CBNs, but I have a love-hate relationship, so I love them. I think they're great. They will last you damn near forever. They cut really good. But when it comes to burr removal, for some reason, I don't get the same quality burr removal as I do from a hybrid or a bonded stone or a natural stone or anything like that. I think the surface is just because it's a metal surface with a CBN. I think something with the surface makes it where it doesn't grab the burr like a bonded stone does, because this is more stone-like. You know, it's weird. So that's what I'm struggling with right now. And I'm still kind of testing it. It does take a while to test these things, and I'm still waiting for other stones. But right now, my favorites at the moment are between those new TSPROFs and the KDTU bonded diamond stones, or CBM. Picked up the Workshop Field Sharpener. It's cool. Dukes, I'll tell you what, man. It's the shit. One of the best investments you'll ever make right here. Workshop Field Sharpener. Everybody should have one. Everybody should have one. You, and you. Because they're so easy to use. Like, I could literally, watch this. This is diamond. It's a coarse too. That's like an 80 grit. So you know that thing's not going to cut anything now. A piece of paper, so you guys don't think I'm bullshitting. All right. Not going through. All right. I want you guys to count for me. Count for me. Ready, set, go. I could have did it better. It is a lot better, but hold on. Let me go a little bit more. Probably rushed it too fast and hold my angle good. Gentle, 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 gentle. There we go. There we go. Bang. Get rid of piece of paper. That one's all snarled up. Way better. And that was after scratching it on a bunch of diamonds. But my point is that think about if you had if you had an actual sharp edge, you can just drag it across metal and your edge is just slightly going dull. Like, rolling your edge like I just did is not smart, right? And it still came back. And now if I really wanted to, I could take 30 seconds on this little diamond plate right here and literally so fast too. Just take advantage of this little diamond plate. Very gentle. I'm not doing any pressure. And then, oh yeah, fuck, it's already like crazy sharp. Then now I'm not doing any pressure now, because now I'm just knocking off any micro pieces that are hanging around. Couple strop passes. Look at that. Like, see how fast that is though? Like, it's, everybody should have one. And you can do kitchen knives on it. You can do basically anything on it. I mean, I've done fucking big fixed blades on it. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate all the support. Really want to get into this. Ever since I've seen these knives, I've been buying knives left and right. Got the green bar compound and wanted to move on to the diamond compound. Stroppy stuff. Get stroppy stuff. There's only three diamond compounds or emulsions you should either look at: Hapstone, Gunny Juice, stroppy stuff. Those are the three. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.